We live in this thing, man. In this thing, hit the like button. It ain't nothing. Tune in for another wonderful show. Yeah, man. Yesterday's show was lit, right? That thing should have got about 50,000 views, right? Real easy. It should have got about 50,000, man. But YouTube gonna do what it gonna do, and I understand that. But let's get it popping, man. The panel was pretty cool yesterday too, because I broke down a lot of situations, and the panel was you know, um, you want to get people going back and forth in the comments, man, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing. So if you haven't smacked that like button, make sure that you smack that like button when you slide through. Oh yeah. King Supreme, the storyteller, man. I got some stories of my own that I'm gonna start breaking down, about street life and incarceration and getting out and starting all over. I got some stories, man. You know what I mean? Some real story time, man. And we're gonna get into that too, man. But I'm gonna structure it though. I was thinking about it last night. I'm like, man, you know what? Why don't you start telling some of your own, talking about some of your situations and how you got to where you are now. But I'm gonna take you guys to the gutter, you know? And yeah, man, he said, talk about the tethers. Man, hey man, hey man, you crazy with that one, Demon Slayer. But look, let me say this, bro. I don't know why. I don't know why black folks want to listen. I don't know. I don't know why black folks want to hear about tethers all day, right? But hey, man, if you like talking about tethers all day, if you like hearing about it, then that's your prerogative, man. That's your thing. And the crazy part about it is most black people that listen to that, they don't even live around no tethers, right? You know, they've most of these people had worse experiences with other FBA people. Most of these people don't even experience anything negative with a tether. But like I say, it's follow the leader. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed, man. I gotta say, shout out to Tariq Nasheed because at least Tariq Nasheed is original. And I can respect that from Tariq because he's original, right? Now, all these other dudes, they're just Tariq Nasheed wannabes. Once they seen that talking about tethers was working for Tariq Nasheed, now all they want to do is upload videos about tethers every day. It's like, God, man. Come on, man. Oh man. It's like, really, you gonna talk about tethers all day? Stop copying Tariq Nasheed and come up with your own ideas, man. Why don't you talk about what affects your life personally, or at least what affects the lives of most foundational Black Americans? But you can't expect for these people to be original. Whatever they see working in the algorithm, they're gonna copy and paste that. That's how these people are. But anyway, man, let's get back to the topic. I don't want to waste time talking about that. And I don't want to waste time talking about that, man. But hit the like button if you haven't already. Salute to everybody. It's heavy. Now, we had a caller yesterday. Well, one of the dudes that tapped in and he was talking about how he's cool with the Latinos. And I'm like, well, if you're cool with the Latinos, okay, then you cool with the Latinos. And but see, this is the thing. Latin Kings don't really get along with Serranos, right? But in Georgia, they get along with Serranos and Southsiders for convenience, right? Because it's convenient to be cool with them to go against blacks. So what I'm saying is whenever it's convenient for Mexicans to go against blacks, that's what they're gonna do. I don't give a damn how long they've been cool with you. And he kept trying to tell us, oh no, it's not like this, it's like this. He kept looking for different angles that he can come from to make it seem like we cool with Mexicans. And it's like, bro, you're not understanding the bigger picture. In the state of Georgia, all Mexicans get along with each other. Norteños and Serranos are the biggest enemies in California, but in Georgia, they get along for convenience because it's all about the raza. It's all about being Latino. So it don't matter if they was cool with you. They're going to put being Latino first in the state of Georgia. And I understand why they do it. Now, here's my man, Charlie yesterday, man. Shout out to the bro, man. He's a good storyteller. He served 15 years in Georgia State prisons. And man, Global Charlie, man, that's his name. Charlie Global, my bad. His name is Charlie Global, man. He spent 15 years in Georgia State prisons, man. And like I said, in the state of Georgia, they got the chain gang. Have you guys ever seen the movie Life, where they got on working in the plantation? Well, that's how prison is down south. They put your ass to work. You be out there in the field picking cabbage, picking vegetables. Similar to how slaves was picking cotton back in the day, and you had a white man on a horse with a damn gun that's watching over everybody. So the last place you want to go to prison, like you don't want to go to prison at all. Stay up out of there, stay up out of jail, get you a career. That's what I suggest. But you trust and believe, homie, you don't want to go to prison down south. They're going to work you like a slave and give you hard time. Trust and believe, homie, you want to avoid all of that. Stay on them tethers, Red. Oh, man. Nah, you got plenty of channels talking about tethers every day. Tariq Nasheed stay on tethers every damn day. But at least Tariq Nasheed is original. These other guys are just talking about it because it works. But anyway, let's get back to what I was talking about with the riot. Now, there was a riot in this prison, right? Nah, bro, when they talk about tethers, they're talking about Africans, Haitians, and Black Caribbeans. They're not talking about Mexicans, bro. The chain gang is an extension of slavery. That's all it is. Shout out to Cat 6 Cable Guy. So if you go to prison in Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, you're going to be on the chain gang. That ain't nothing but, it's like he said, it's an extension of slavery. They're getting free labor, and they get money for every day that they lock your ass up. So stay out of that damn system, man. Gonna have your ass on, they're gonna have your ass on a plantation saying, yes, sir, boss. Yes, sir, boss. The white man on a damn horse, and you on your knees out there picking fruits and vegetables and cleaning up and doing all type of stuff. Like it's 1840 around this beyond. Anyway, man, let's get to shout out to Charlie Global, man. He gonna tell this story about how the Mexican dude was chopping it up with the CEO, and I guess she was helping him to get work in, and she chose up with this black dude. And when she chose up with this black dude, the Mexican got mad, and he got his people, and they strapped up, and they wanted to smoke with the black people. Now, keep in mind, this is the Atlanta blacks. Keep in mind, it's all separated. Blacks in Georgia are not riding together. See, Mexicans in Georgia know this. If they go to war with the Crips, the Bloods ain't going to get involved. The GDs ain't going to get involved. The Muslims ain't going to get involved. But anytime there's a problem with Mexicans, the Latin Kings, the Norteños, the Serranos, they all going to riot because they're all Latinos. So I don't know why this war was just between the Atlanta blacks and all the Latinos, and the other blacks stood down. They just said, we're going to stand down. This is between the Atlanta blacks and the Mexicans. But keep in mind, they was getting money. The Mexican dude didn't like the fact that the CEO chose up with the black dude, and she started bringing it in for him and not rocking with him anymore. So the Mexican dude felt like, oh, you stepping on my toes, Holmes. You stepping on my toes. He like, hey, man, that broad chose up with me. You got an issue, you need to take it up with that broad. Don't get mad at me. I'm just a player in the game, man. You know what I mean? It's fair game. But the essay didn't want to hear that. He wanted smoke with the brothers because the CEO chose up with the brother and she wasn't rocking with him no more. So it started a whole war in this particular Georgia prison. Shout out to Charlie Global, my man Charlie Global. He gonna break this thing down into detail. Let's get it.
Fresh off lockdown. Oh yeah, the dorm is lit. Onto my, it's a blitz going on.
Charlie spent 15 years in different Georgia state prisons. He served 15 years straight. And check out Charlie, man, the Global Gang.
Oh yeah, we lit in here. Man, shout out to all the new subscribers, all the new channel members. Man, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Everybody that walking with me on this journey. Man, I appreciate y'all because I ain't none without the people. But I'm back with another banger. But before I can get into it, now I need that little favor now. Go ahead and hit that like button. Leave me a comment and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Hype me up. Share the video. Oh, yeah. But it one of the one, boy.
This war started over drugs and a female. So it was a mixture of both, man. Plus the Mexican, like, man, who's this Mayate thinking?
And some of that baked spaghetti.
I know he thinking, how does Mayate gonna sit up there and take my bra and now she getting money for him? Oh, hell nah.
With the corn and the Texas toast. Tasty. Oh, yeah. Man, I got to tell y'all about the time that Atlanta boy got into it with the Migo. Oh, yeah, man. The Mexicans and the guy from Atlanta. So, we at Ultra State Prison with this one. Shout out to my boy OJ. What it do? Yeah, we at Ultra with this one. So, I'm in E2. E2 was slick, a Thunderdome, man. You know what I'm saying? You had a lot of funny money dude running around trying to get in control of the dorm. You had a lot of undercover funny money dude that were trying to act like they wasn't, but they was. It was just a chaotic ass dorm. I'm like, and every day I wake up, I'm like, boy, where these folk got me at? But they what was going on at the time. And my bunkmate, Lil True, he was from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Lil True was cool. You know what I'm saying? He had them been down about 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Cool, calm, collected dude. He probably was about 5'10", 160 pounds. You know what I'm saying? We weren't too much far from, you know what I'm saying, our size. You know what I'm saying? Bro was cool as hell, though. You know what I mean? Stayed in his own lane. You know what I mean? At this time, it wasn't that many dude from Atlanta in the dorm. It probably was like 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying? So about 2 months after he was in the dorm, it was a standoff in the dorm with the Ghostface and the Muslim. You know what I'm saying? You already know what it was about. Somebody.
Yeah. Ghostface is a white gang. For those of you who don't know, anytime you hear Ghostface, that's a white gang in Georgia state prisons, right? Let's get back to it.
Oh, somebody for some dope. The Ghostface owed the Muslim for some dope, and the Muslim wasn't even supposed to be selling hard drugs, but boy, they were trapping them. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to realize a lot of the Muslim community in prison, they ex-gangbangers. You feel me? And them be the ones who ain't living by Muslim standard. You feel me? But you know, it is what it is. It's chain gang. And then Georgia Department of Correction, the Muslim community is considered another gang. It's just what it is. Even though I know it's religious, the intent is for the religion. But in prison, in Georgia, they definitely operate like a gang. You feel me? So they out there, they having a standoff or whatever. You know what I'm saying? The officer fuck around and see it. They call the code. CERT team run down there to the dorm, lock her down or whatever. So we stay on lockdown. The next morning we wake up, they ain't even popped the door. You know what I'm saying? So anytime it's Chi call around Chi time and they ain't popped them doors, they finna shake down. They trying to catch niggas down bad. Cause when they ran in, it was a spur of the moment. They just told everybody locked down. So niggas ain't had time to go get their phones put up and move around or whatever. Cause we were locked down. So they came with the shakedown. They end up locking up like 10 dudes uh during that shakedown. And mostly was for knives, you know what I'm saying? Cause the economy wasn't that good in the dorm. It was more knives in the dorm than phones. You feel me? Them folk got a bunch of knives out of there, lock a bunch of dudes up. So, you know what I'm saying? They finally let us all lock down. So boom, that next transfer day, you know what I mean? They filled them beds up, brought a couple dudes out the hole. Some dude came in off the bus. So now Atlanta, they deep in the dorm. You know what I'm saying? Most of the dude that got brought in the dorm, like 7, 8 on were from Atlanta. So now Atlanta like 13, 14 deep in the dorm. You feel me?
And what y'all got to understand, Georgia is way more than Atlanta, man. You got Savannah, Georgia. You got Albany. You got Athens. It's a lot of different areas in Georgia, but like he said, the Atlanta blacks went to war with all the Mexicans. The other blacks didn't jump in. So what I notice in Georgia is like when the Mexicans go to war, they'll go to war with one black faction and the other blacks don't get involved. So it'll be one black faction against all the Latinos. And when you think about the Latinos in Georgia, it could be Southsiders, Northerners, Latin Kings, Nietas, and Paisas. So it'll be like one black faction getting it in with all these Mexicans from these different gangs who came together for Latino power to represent the raza. Let me tell y'all black something in Georgia. If the Atlanta blacks are going to war with the Mexicans, all the blacks need to get in that. If the Bloods get into it with the Mexicans, the Crips, the GDs, all blacks need to get involved. It can't just be one black faction going to war with all these different Latinos. Y'all gonna learn the hard way. That's how you guys got to show dominance in Georgia. If all the blacks in Georgia had, listen, if the blacks in Georgia had structure under one banner in the black race, now I'm not saying they can't run their individual factions, they could. But anytime something becomes an issue with another race, all blacks need to ride for that. That's how you guys really gonna dominate Georgia prison. You already got the numbers. So with that being said, once it becomes a race issue, all blacks need to ride. But I understand why they don't, because people be getting money, they got business going on, and they feel like, well, if I get involved in this riot, that's going to drag us into it, and it's going to mess up our business. I hear what you're saying. That's why all blacks got to come together and create some type of code of conduct amongst inmates. Like, don't do this, don't do that. So when we do go to war, it's actually worth going to war. We're not going to war on something stupid. So the Bloods, the Crips, the GDs, the Muslims, the GFs, that's another black gang out there. Y'all all need to come together and say we got to create a code of conduct amongst all black inmates. So when it's time to go to when it's time to go to war with the whites or the Mexicans, we're going to war for a righteous cause for this blackness under one umbrella. Because once it becomes racial, it got to be racial, and all blacks need to ride. But anyway, let's get back to it.
Mind you, Ultra State Prison was the scam capital for the chain gang in Georgia around this time. This was scam capital. OJ, you know what I'm talking about. So, next thing you know, after a couple weeks of the new rotation that was in the dorm, these new Atlanta dudes was in the dorm. You know what I mean?
I get it. Latinos are small, so that's why they all got to riot together. The blacks feel like we got so many numbers. The Bloods feel like they don't need to get involved in Crip business. Crips feel like they don't need to get involved in Blood or GD business or Muslim business. So one black faction is big enough to take care of all the Mexicans out there. I get it. But like I said, that's not going to be the case in the next 5 years. The Mexican population is only going to grow. So you ain't going to have time to separate that. You can do that now because blacks have the numbers. You might as well prepare for the future instead of waiting for something to happen before you take heed to the message. But I get it. Oh, well, the Muslims is deep enough to take it. They look at it like this. The Bloods are deep enough to take on the Mexicans by themselves. They don't need help from other black factions. The GDs are big enough to take on the Mexicans. They don't need help from other black factions. That's how they look at it. But I'm speaking for the future.
Boy had them cuffed them a couple white boy that knew how to scam. That thing, you know, them dude from Atlanta started getting their money up. Them boy, they popping shit. You know what I'm saying? They getting it in. Now, mind you, the Migos was in that bit too. Them boy were like 15 deep in there. You know what I'm saying? And one of the Migos, I guess he had been shooting his shot at that female officer. She was mixed. She was black and white, pretty as hell. Looked like a baby Lotto in that bit. Oh yeah, Shawty was bad, bad. And you could tell she was choosing up on the Migo because every time she coming there just to do her round, she stayed at his door the longest. He was like the head Migo, had all to say. So, you know, he was juried up. That boy had the gold Cuban links. Like, yeah, that boy was fresh. Now I ain't even gonna count. You know what I'm saying? And he had the little rank or whatever in there with the Migos. So you could tell though, shout always pulling up to his room. Sometimes she'll go in the room and close the door. You know what I'm saying? So one day, me and Lil True talking. He was like, boy, look, boy, a couple of my partner done moved in there bit, boy, them boy going up. I say, yeah. He was like, yeah, but they got these white boys in the swivel. They got these motherfuckers scamming left and right in their bit. Shit, them boy really trying to bust a move. I say, shit, yeah, what kind of move? He was like, shit, that Michael Vick and Roddy White motherfucker, boy, they trying to goddamn turn the dome up. I'm like, shit, they can do it. Shit, they getting that money. Hell, they got some people on the outside that'll come handle that business. You got some money and some people on the outside that'll handle the business. Shit, only thing you waiting on now is time, and you got to have the perfect time. So boom, a couple days go by. Little True pull up in the room. He was like, hey, one of my homeboy want to holler at you, bro. One of my homeboy want to holler at you. So I was like, all right, I pull up on him. He was like, shit, bro, what's up? What's up? Well, I heard you, you know what I'm saying? You from the country, you from down that way. I'm like, yeah, I'm from down that way. He was like, shit, man, nigga having some paper, man, but shit, all my folks up there in the eight, and they really ain't trying to drive no 4 hours down there, bit, bro. Shit, but you ain't got nobody that can goddamn whoop whoop, boy. You be like, shit, I pay your people and pay you for goddamn fucking with me. I said, yeah, I say, shit, what you trying to get in? So he was like, shit, how much your folks can? I say, man, my people can do the mother load. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but what you trying to get? I say, shit, I got the runner too that can go pick the shit up. You know what I'm saying? Shit, cause I need to make this little move because I ain't have enough money at the time to goddamn pay my folks and go shop and buy the work and the phones and shit. You know what I'm saying? Bill was crumbing, so this shit was perfect timing. So he ended up telling me what all he wanted and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm gonna get back with you. Let me go holler at my folk. So I go back to my room, pull my phone out. I call my people. I was like, look, man, I need you. They like, what's up? My folk like, what's up? I'm like, look, I got some folk from the city trying to bust a move, man. They trying to pay you and goddamn break me off a little something. You know, goddamn, I ain't gonna do nothing but take that little something and bite. Yeah, I need you. So my folk like, shit, what's up? What they trying to do? I'm like, whoop, whoop. I get on the plate, I run it down to them. So my folk like, shit, boy, that's a lot of shopping, boy. That's a lot of shopping. He was like, oh shit, they from the city, shit, boy. Goddamn, hey, boy, I ain't even gonna count, boy. They gonna have to.
The AB ain't got a strong presence in Georgia. What they have is a white gang called the Ghostface, right? The white boys ain't got a strong presence in Georgia prisons. It's a gang called Ghostface. Shout out to Desmond Hill for the Cash App. Appreciate you, brother. Now in Alabama, they have the AB, and that's just next door. You got the Aryan Brotherhood and the Southern Brotherhood in the state of Alabama, but the blacks outnumber them like by so much. You know, blacks in Alabama be wrecking shot with everybody, crushing everybody, right? You know, yeah, you got some white boys is with the business in Alabama prisons, but for the most part, they get ran over. You know, they get ran over because like it's the same in Alabama. In Alabama state prison, you got the Bloods, the Crips, and the GDs. And then you got a few vice lords down there too. But the vice lords are like in small numbers, but they do exist in Alabama. But yeah, Alabama prisons is dominated by black gangs, Bloods, Crips, GDs, and a few vice lords, right? It's the same thing in Georgia. You got the Bloods, the Crips, the GDs, the Muslims, and GF, and the white prison gang. The white prison gang in Georgia is called the Ghostface. So nah, I don't think AB got a real presence out there, man. Not in GA. And GA means Georgia.
Hey, boy. I'm like, shit, these niggas getting money. Shit, they ready to pay whatever. They trying to goddamn turn the dorm up or whatever. So my folk were like, well, shit, being that it'll help you out, goddamn, I'm gonna do the shit. I'm gonna run it. So I was like,
Now, what people don't know is the Aryan Brotherhood started in California. You would think that it started in the South, but it didn't. The Aryan Brotherhood started in Cali. You know, the Aryan Brotherhood is homegrown to California. A lot of people don't know that because when you think about racism coming from white folks, you think about the South. But nah, man, the Aryan Brotherhood started in California in the 1960s. In the 1960s, in a California state prison, and California state prisons, that's where the AB was born, in Cali. And now you got a bunch of spin-off AB gangs in different states across the country, but California is the motherland for the AB. Had to put y'all up on game about that. Salute to everybody. Bless that like button.
the ticket, what you gonna charge them? So shit, my folk were like, hell, for them, shit, I need like sound band to run their play. I run that play for like sound right. So I pull up on, but I tell him, I was like, shit, my folk, like, they want sound band to run that play. He was like, oh shit, that 3 band there, I thought he would leave gonna say about a 10. He was like, shit, I tell you what, since I thought it was a 10, I'm gonna shoot your folk themselves, and I'm gonna shoot you the 3 for goddamn let me goddamn borrow your whip. So I'm like, shit, Randy, I take them 3, shit. I'm getting three racks just to put the mood together and goddamn connect the dots. So boom. So he sent my folk the bread or whatever. You know what I'm saying? My folk go shopping, they go get goddamn whoop, 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 get all the phone, the can, you know what I'm saying, the gas, whatever. So a couple nights after that, it was
Hey man, listen tight, man. He's finna break down how the blacks and the Mexicans went to war. Well, the Atlanta blacks went to war with the Mexicans. Like I said, you got other cities in Georgia that get cracking too. Savannah, Georgia get cracking. Augusta, Georgia get cracking. Athens gets cracking. And many other cities and towns all across the state of Georgia. We're just used to hearing about Atlanta. But like I say, I'm from the South myself. I'm just raised in California, but my people are from Alabama and Georgia. So I understand the politics that's going on there because that's where I'm from originally and my whole family. I'm just California raised, but my roots is in Alabama and Georgia, man, for sure. But let's get back to the content. The Mexicans go to war with the Atlanta blacks over a female and some drugs.
time for the play to go down. You feel me? So we in the war room. I'm in the room with these niggas from Atlanta and shit. You know what I'm saying? I guess they had them put some money together. I don't know how they put the mood together, but them niggas was in the room and shit. It was like 5 of them in the room. So we in the war room. Goddamn, this shit on the weekend. You feel me? So lockdown. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Malik for the cash app, man. I appreciate you. Desmond Hill, and Malik have blessed the cash app, man. I appreciate both of my people. I appreciate all of my supporters.
And wasn't really no lockdown. The officer come around long as you got down, ain't no bullshit going on. They wasn't tripping the lockdown on the weekend. So we all in the room and shit. So we on the phone, got that bitch on speaker. My folk like, shit, boy, I'm about 10 minutes away, goddamn, y'all boy good. I'm like, yeah, we good, shit, we waiting on you. So boom, 10 minutes go by, my folk were like, shit, I'm coming through these woods now. You can hear him coming through the woods and shit. That thing, no, shit, bro, like, I'm at the spot. I'm like, all right, just chill. I hit my nigga in the other dorm. I was like, boy, you can see that Pete car? He was like, hold on, I don't see that bitch yet. Then about 30 seconds later, he was like, shit, that bitch coming around now. So I had to wait on it to get by me. Once that motherfucker got by me and bent the corner, I told my foe, I said, go, 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 go. So boom, came and everything successful, everything made it over the gate. Cause I always tell my people, you got to clear that gate. Cause if that shit get caught up on that ball, why that shit gonna blow the whole move. And we had them found the sweet spot on the compound where we can goddamn woo out the bam. So boom, everything goes smooth. So everybody dapping up in the room and shit like, hell yeah, hell yeah. So I'm like, shit, I got to put one more move to goddamn grab it. So the next day, my little young nigga, he worked the dorm. So at that time, they wasn't letting us goddamn go out there on the small yard and shit. You feel me? But I pulled up on bro. I'm like, hey, boy, I got something for you, boy. I need you. He was like, what's up, bro? What you need? I was like, shit, when the evening go to child, bro, I need to run out there on the small yard right fast.
Hey, man, he's getting ready to dive into the meat and potatoes of this conversation, man. Like I said, this started behind drugs and a female. The Mexicans were mad because the blacks took over the drug trade. The Mexican dude was he had this, it was a female, she was mixed with black and white. She was mixed with black and white, and the Mexican dude had the female working for him, bringing in the work, helping them to get money. But then there was another black dude in there. She liked the black dude more than the Mexican, so she started working for the black dude. And when she started working for the black dude, she started to shun the Mexican dude. He got mad about it, and he wanted blood behind that. The Mexicans wanted funk. They wanted war because they feel like the blacks took their connect, which was the CO female that was getting it in for the Mexicans, but then she started working for the blacks, and the Mexican couldn't handle that. He got in his feelings, he got in his emotions, and he told his people, let's strap up and go to war. We can't let these blacks take our business. So it was personal and it was emotional at the same time. Make sure that you guys get the likes up for your boy. Georgia State Prison. Atlanta blacks go to war with all Mexicans and Latinos.
So he like, what you got for me? I said, shit, I got you goddamn 300. He was like, 300? Yeah, I popped dope. So shit, he was like, come on with it. So I give his ass on 3 green dot. That was $100 a piece. He was like, shit, when I go on my lunch break, I'm finna go out here and get on my phone and load these bitches. So I'm like, all right. So boom. He fucked around having lunch break or whatever. Another officer came in the booth to relieve him. Shit, and that thing, you know, that boy came back. You know what I'm saying? They were right before last child. So boom, he pull up on me. He was like, yeah, everything straight. Them bitches were good. I loaded them bitches. So I'm like, bet. So boom, that thing, you know. Shit, when I turned around and looked, the Atlanta nigga was standing on the top range. I seen him watching me and shit, whatever. So I pulled up on the nigga, you know what I'm saying, that I was busting a move for. He was like, hey, young nigga, I like the way you move, shout it. You know, them Atlanta nigga be on that shout it shit real heavy. He was like, shout it. But at this time, it wouldn't bother me no more. I had done got over the shit because you know what I'm saying, I had done got in some fights behind that shit.
What you have to understand is the Mexicans don't have a chance with the blacks in Georgia, right? The Muslims smashed the Mexicans yesterday. I did a story yesterday about how the Muslims unalived one of the essays and stabbed up the other ones, right? And the Bloods didn't get involved, the Crips didn't get involved, the GDs didn't get involved. The Muslims smashed the essays by themselves. You got this fool in the comments talking, this ain't Cali where you got all these damn Mexicans is overpopulating. Georgia ain't Cali where you have the numbers, bro. The Muslims alone smashed the essays and none of the blacks helped them. The Crips didn't help, the Bloods didn't help, the GDs didn't help. The Goodfellas didn't help. That's another independent black gang. The Muslims smashed the essays by themselves. I told that story yesterday.
Where I'm from, the 229, we call females shouty. Field Mark got a song called Hey Shouty, 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 Shouty. I can't be your man, but you can be my shouty. So I'm conditioned on calling female shouty. But anyway, I wasn't studying that shit. So he was like, shouty, I like the way you move, boy. He was like, shit, boy, you gonna be great in this bit, boy. You moving. boy, you putting this shit together, boy, you moving. So that thing, you know, the officer coming there and call lad call for child.
See, he just giving you what's leading up to the story. You like, man, get to it. He gonna get to it. Trust and believe he gonna get to it. He's just giving you the storyline to let you know what led up to the altercation. Get the likes up for your boy. Shout out to Danny Valencia for the Cash App, man. I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Matthew Stewart for the Cash App as well.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody damn near gone up out that bit. So that thing, you know, I push up to the booth. Little brother like, shit, go on here and go back there and stand behind the door. He be like, nigga, you ain't got long, nigga. You ain't got long. He be like, shit, in that Pete car, bro. Shit, how you gon'? I be like, don't worry about all that, little bro. Just pop the door. So, goddamn, my people that was upstairs and shit, I told him to yell downstairs, yell out the door when he see the Pete car go round. So boom, cause it wasn't no window in that door. I couldn't see. So I told bro, I say, when you see that big come around, you just say, yo. So that thing, I'm standing by the door, look, bro, he popped that big, boom, boom. About 2 minutes after that, bro came to the range. He was like, yo. So I shoot on out the door. I go grab the package shit. I'm so glad the P car ain't see that motherfucker. I went and got that shit. Cause bro had to wrap that shit in that army tape, that green tape. He had to wrap that shit up in that shit. So I go secure the pack. I close the door. Shit, I go in my room and shit. I duck that bitch and I go back upstairs. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm peeping the mood, make sure everything's straight. So boom, I take the shit upstairs, the butter or whatever. And goddamn, he like, bro, appreciate that shit, boy. Appreciate it, boy. You really pulled that motherfucker off, boy. You pulled that bitch off. So that thing, know the dorm was flooded. The dorm was lit. Niggas could buy phones. Nigga could buy cigarettes. Nigga could buy whatever. And I had 3 rights to the good. My folks had done got their money. And shit, I had done got me a free 3 bands. You feel me? So now I'm back in the mix, bitch. I'm straight, bitch. I got a phone. And I got a few dollars, bitch. I'm straight. So now I'm plotting on my neck move. So we doing time in that bit, little true, like, shit, boy, you came through for the team then, boy. You did that, boy. Yeah, boy, you did that shit. So boom, we kicking it in that bit, and that thing, the little Mick, bro, she fuck around and work the dorm and shit. So boom, she coming up doing her round per usual. She go to the Migo room. She stay down that bit for a little minute. So she keep making her round. So the nigga who I had to help get the pike in, she fuck around and go to his door. So he popped his shit. He got his new Cartier glasses. He got a little jewelry on. He had done got some fine shit in the pipe. You know what I'm saying? He popping his shit. She looked like she was going for it because she was giving him the googly eyes. Oh yeah, bro, like 6'4", tall nigga. You know what I'm saying? Waves and shit, goddamn. Bro's up there popping it. So she worked the next 2 days. So she kept coming in there and shit. And I noticed she was staying at bro though longer and longer and longer and longer. So one day I'm out there goddamn watching the sport TV or whatever, and bro who I had got the pack in, helped get the pack in, goddamn. He came down there and stood by me and shit. He was like, shit, boy, I'm about to have some legs too, boy. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, shit, boy, you going crazy then? He was like, shit, your folks run that same playback for the same number? I was like, shit, if everything the same, yeah, we could run it back. He was like, yeah, nigga, I'm gonna break you all the 3 racks, bro. I got you. I know he wasn't tripping because all the shit he would get in, he was gonna quadruple the money. The little 10 racks he paid out, that nigga got in $40,000-$50,000 worth of shit. You know what I'm saying? Easy. The weed, the cigarette, all this shit, man. Yeah, I know he went crazy.
He said, when you gonna talk? I talked about county prisons. Listen, man, Cali is Mexico. It's overpopulated with Mexicans. What I'm telling you is, outside of California, well, I ain't even gonna say outside of Cali. Once you get to the deep south, Mexicans can't run nothing, man. Once you go to like Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama, you can't bring that racist stuff over there. You're gonna get served, man. Trying to be racist in Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, man, Mexicans can't survive doing that in the southern states. The Muslims alone smashed the essays and unallied one of them. I'm not saying that to brag about warfare and violence. I'm just telling you what it is. All that anti-black stuff, it don't work in Georgia. It don't work in Alabama. It don't work in Mississippi. It don't work in Tennessee. It don't work in North Carolina or South Carolina. It don't work in the deep South, homie. The only reason you can get away with that in Cali is because California has allowed millions and millions on top of illegals across the border to have babies. So you overpopulated California. And guess what? You don't win all the wars in Cali. You still don't win all the wars in Cali, and you got the numbers. California is only like 6% black. Los Angeles is only 8% black. You see what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? So boom, we talking, we chopping up, whatever. So he walk off, whatever. He going up the stairs. So the head Migo see that boy going up the stairs. He had just came out of his room. So he go up the stairs behind him. He like, hey, let me holler at you. Let me holler at you, wait. So they standing up there talking and shit. Know what I'm saying? I don't know what they saying. Then the shit got heated. It got heated a little bit. Bro, who I had helped get the pack in, he was like, nigga, I don't know what the fuck you talking about, nigga. Shit, why they chain gang, nigga? Fuck that shit you talking about, nigga. They chain gang. Fuck you mean? So boom, he walk out. He go in his room. So the essay, he look blowed. He had started turning red in the face and everything. So that shit blow over, whatever. About a month go by before Shawty work in the dorm again. But when she came back,
let me go back. What he said is very important, man. I'm going to talk after the video. People ask questions, so I tend to chime in. He's telling you what happened, how the Mexican got mad because the female chose up with the black dude and started working for him. The essays didn't like that. That's what started the war. He got mad because the broad chose up with the black dude, man.
You know what I'm saying? Easy, the weed, the cigarette, all this shit, man. Yeah, I know he went crazy. You know what I'm saying? So boom, we talking, we chopping up, whatever. So he walk off, whatever. He going up the stairs. So the head Migo see that boy going up the stairs. He had just came out of his room. So he go up the stairs behind him. He like, hey, wait, let me holler at you. Let me holler at you, wait. So they standing up there talking and shit. Know what I'm saying? I don't know what they saying. Then the shit got heated. It got heated a little bit. Bro, who I had helped get the pack in, he was like, nigga, I don't know what the fuck you talking about, nigga. Shit, why they chain gang, nigga? Fuck that shit you talking about, nigga. They chain gang. Fuck you mean? So boom, he walk out. He go in his room. So the essay, he look blowed. He had started turning red in the face and everything. So that shit blow over, whatever.
Why are you up in here talking about California? We're not talking about California. We're talking about Georgia. Right? And why Mexicans want to take pride in running prisons, man? When the Mexican gangs in California pay taxes to La M or the Nuestra Familia. You guys who come to the internet talking about we run Cali, you guys are nothing but puppets for La M, puppets for the Nuestra Familia. You guys pay taxes to a prison gang. You don't run nothing. If anything, you're told to do. Don't nobody tell Bloods what to do in Georgia. Don't nobody tell Crips what to do in Georgia. Don't nobody tell GDs what to do in Georgia. Don't nobody tell the Muslims what to do in Georgia. You don't have a prison gang dictating what blacks do in Georgia and collecting taxes from them. You Mexican gangbangers in Cali want to be hard, but you guys bow down and pay taxes to La M. You can't be too tough if you got to bow down and pay taxes to a prison organization. So no, you're not tough at all. You listen, not only do you got to listen to the CEOs, you got to listen to a prison gang that's telling y'all what to do. So nah, man, you don't run nothing. What you do is you take orders and you behave. You get on your best behavior and pay them taxes to La M.
About a month go by before Shawty work in the dorm again. But when she came back, you know what I'm saying? I know that when she did her round, she really brushed Migo off. She wasn't really You know what I'm saying? Fucking with his gang like that. Like she said little shit to him, but she
It's
wasn't.
not a business, it's what you call extortion. You call it organization, I call it extortion. You got all these Southsider gangs, in Southern California pay taxes to a small prison gang. The Southsiders outnumber La M by large numbers, and you guys still pay taxes to them. How come the Southsiders don't create their own program and say, no, we're not paying taxes? Let me tell you something about the Tongo Blast in Texas. You know why I can respect the Tongo Blast more than the Southsiders in Cali? And I'm not trying to disrespect nobody. I'm just being real about what it is. The Tongo Blast in Texas said, we're not going to pay taxes. See, in Texas, you have the Texas Mexican Mafia. The Texas Mexican Mafia is separate from the Mexican Mafia in Cali. The Mexican street gangs in Texas said, we're not going to pay taxes to the Mexican Mafia no more. So they created Tongo Blast. And when they created Tongo Blast, they went against the Texas Mexican Mafia. So the Mexican gangs in Texas said, we are not paying taxes to no prison organization. See, in Texas, you have the Texas Syndicate and the Mexican Mafia. Those are prison gangs. And they used to tax the Mexican gang members in Texas. The Mexican gang members in Texas said, we're going to form Tongo Blast and go against the Mexican Mafia and go against the Texas Syndicate. So I got more respect for them. They stood up and say, no, we're not going to be extorted. We're not going to pay you guys taxes. The hell with y'all. So the Tongo Blast stood up against oppression. When will the Southsiders stand up against oppression? I think they're too scared to do it. At least Tongo Blast said, we're going to stand up together. We got our own gang. We ain't paying taxes to no Mexican Mafia. So shout out to the Tongo Blast. Some of them are racist too, but at least they had the heart to stand up against the Mexican Mafia to say that we ain't paying y'all nothing. We ain't giving up none of our earnings to y'all. Anyway, let's get back to the story.
Weed, the cigarette, all this shit, man. Yeah, I know he went crazy. You know what I'm saying? So boom, we talking, we chopping up, whatever. So he walk off, whatever. He going up the stairs. So the head Migo see that boy going up the stairs. He had just came out of his room. So he go up the stairs behind him. He was like, hey, wait, let me holler at you. Let me holler at you, wait. So they standing up there talking and shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they saying. Then the shit got heated. It got heated a little bit. Bro, who I had helped get the pack in, he was like, nigga, I don't know what the fuck you talking about, nigga. Shit, why they chain gang, nigga? Fuck that shit you talking about, nigga. They chain gang. Fuck you mean? So boom, he walk out. He go in his room. So the essay, he look blowed. He had started turning red in the face and everything. So that shit blow over, whatever. About a month ago.
The Southsiders got more numbers than the Mexican Mafia, but yet and still they pay taxes and bow down. Oh, he disrespect. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just telling you the damn truth. The same way that the Tongo Blast got more numbers than the Texas Syndicate and the Mexican Mafia in Texas, the Southsiders in California got more numbers than the Mexican Mafia, but yet and still they pay taxes and bow down to them.
For Shaw to work in the dorm again, but when she came back, you know what I'm saying? I know that when she did her round, she really brushed Migo off. She wasn't really, you know what I'm saying, fucking with his gang like that. Like she said little shit to him, but she wasn't really, she was going upstairs, the bro room though. She was posting up, kicking it. She started going in the room and everything. So you could tell it was some tension in the dorm, you know what I'm saying? The Migo walk around, normally they have their little Nike slides and shit on. But now out the blue after him and the head Migo and the nigga from Atlanta got into it, them boys walk around with their boots and shit on. So I'm peeping the vibe, you know, I don't be nothing. I don't be wanting shit to happen to me out the blue, you feel me? So we doing time in that bitch, y'all working over there or whatever. So this shit intensifying, you know what I'm saying? So it was one nigga from Atlanta, he owed the Migo for some old miscellaneous shit. I think some Stokehall or something. So you could tell the Migo looking for a reason to pop on them niggas and shit. So I'm in the room talking to my bunkmate True. And he like, man, well, I don't know what's going on, but shit, I think something finna go down with the Migo, bro. I say, why you say that? He was like, man, them niggas been sweating up like a motherfucker. Cause them Atlanta niggas, they stuck together now. Them boy used to cook together. Them boy used to gamble together. Them boy used to pop they shit on the phone. They stayed in the room together. You know, them niggas might be in the room 8, 9, 10 deep, but they end up piping they shit. They on their Atlanta shit. You feel me? So, bro told me, he was like, man, shit, I done went over there across the compound, bro. I had to get us some more knives, bro. I'm like, yeah. He was like, yeah, I went and got like 10 knives, bro, a couple choppers and shit. Cause he was like, boy, these Migos, boy, these niggas been looking at a nigga sideways for real. Like they mad cause you know Shawty done chose, right? I was like, what you talking about? He was like, yeah, the little red bitch, the little meat bitch, she done
Shawty didn't
chose up
chose,
on
man.
bro.
Shawty didn't chose, man.
I say, show no. He was like, yeah, Shawty be bringing that nigga the food and everything. Like, he locked in for real. I'm like, oh, yeah, that made sense. I say, cause shit, at first, goddamn, Shawty was fucking with me go down there. She was fucking with that boy Heavy. I don't know if he would get something up out of her or not, but I know she was goddamn fucking with the campaign, goddamn real strong. So true, like shit, boy, brother, snap that whole like shit. They locked in everything. I done been in the room with bro when she had on her day off. They all on tango together and everything. Like he got that whole fucked up. I'm like, damn. So boom, about 2 weeks go by and shit, and I know that bro wasn't pulling up on me about that play no more, about doing that play. Gonna find out, Shawty was bringing him to work. Shawty had them start bringing him the cans and shit, the zips of the gas and shit. So that boy in rotation, that boy doing his damn thing. So Shawty come back to work or whatever. She really ignoring the Migo outright. Now she just speak and keep on going, but she was spending her time up there with bro. So one day she came and did her rounds and shit, and she worked that move. She just spoke to him and kept going. She up there posted. So she leave out the dorm. That thing, you know, you see all the Migos just come out of one room and shit. They on the floor and shit with they boots and shit on, they coats and shit on, with they towel around their neck and shit. You know what I'm saying? So True, he come out the room. He see how them boy goddamn mounted up. Cause I'm standing out there. I'm posted up by the water fountain and shit. But I see this shit. I'm like, damn. So next thing you know, they out there on the big floor and shit. So bro, who I helped get the move in, he come out of his room. He looked down on the floor. He see them boy. So shit, he just posted up. That thing you know, all the Atlanta niggas came out. They was on the top range with old boy. They looking down at the Migo looking down there at them. So the head Migo was like, shit, what the fuck y'all looking at? So that Atlanta nigga like, shit, what the fuck y'all looking at? Shit, what nigga? Shit, y'all nigga done came out here like, what? What y'all talking about? So the head Migo was like, shit, bro. Yeah, you think you got all the sense. You think you got all the sense. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. You don't play the game fair. You don't play the game fair. So dude was like, nigga, what the fuck is you talking about? So the said, like, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. You know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. You stepping on my toes. You stepping on my toes. You stepped on my toes. Like you got your whole foot on my foot. So the nigga like, bro, I told you, bro, this chain gang, nigga. Fuck is you talking about, nigga? You can't be mad at me, nigga. Don't be mad at me. What the fuck is you talking about? What's up? So all that.
How you gonna be mad at me because the broad chose up and decided to do business with me? You mad at me because the broad chose up, you simp. Now you want to go to war because the broad chose up with me and she don't want to do business with you no more. The amigo was jealous. And he hated the fact that the broad chose up with a black man. Well, she's half black herself. So the Migos wanted funk because the broad chose up, man.
Atlanta niggas, they go down the stairs, they on the big floor and shit. Now it's the standoff. So this nigga from Atlanta who I helped get the pack in, he talking shit to the Migo. They damn near.
Charlie did 15 years in Georgia. He did 15 years in Georgia State prisons, 15 years straight. So he was there when it happened. He's not just telling you a story. And shout out to bro, I rock with him. This is my dog right here, man. I've been rocking with him for a minute. So all these stories are accurate. This dude served 15 years straight in the Georgia State prison. And within that 15 years, he went to different prisons all across the state of Georgia. he's telling you what he's witnessed and what he participated in. So this story right here is 100% authentic. The Migos got mad because the broad chose up, man.
I told you stepped on my toes, like you got your whole foot on my foot. So the nigga like, bro, I told you, bro, this chain gang, nigga. Fuck is you talking about, nigga? You can't be mad at me, nigga. Don't be mad at me. What the fuck is you talking about? What's up? So all the Atlanta niggas, they go down the stairs, they on the big floor and shit. Now it's the standoff. So this nigga from Atlanta who I helped get the pack in, he talking shit to the Migo. They damn near nose to nose, but bro was taller than the Migo. You know what I'm saying? But he got his head down and bro looking up at his ass. They pointing each other face and shit. So bro who I helped get the pack in and shit, he put Migo hard as fuck. Boom. He was like, man, fuck all that motherfucker talking, popping that bitch. He come off the hip with the goddamn sword. So next thing you know, them boys just collide. Boom. You hear clank, 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 clank. Niggas running around and shit. Boom. So I'm like, damn, this shit going down. So I see my bunkmate True. He done ran down on Amigo that had his brother down bad. I'm talking about buddy with Jeff finna goddamn wax that boy. I'm talking about clean that boy up. That boy True came from the blind side and hit that boy in the ear with that motherfucker. I'm talking about he stabbed him straight in the ear. Boom. I say, oh shit, True really surprised me because he be so calm and so player. And he don't never get loud and shit. But them be the ones that'll fuck over your ass for real. So shit, I seen that shit. I said, damn, he just stabbed that boy. You seen that bitch go in the ear. These niggas run around. I done went and got all my bros together. You know what I'm saying? You had a couple on from Atlanta. So they were like, shit, bro, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit, boy. We finna ride on these motherfucking SA. Fuck that shit. I'm like, nah, bro, that shit ain't got nothing to do with us, bro. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, I had the position in the dorm. I ain't want to answer all the motherfucking questions. I told all the bros, I'm like, look, I know some of y'all niggas from Atlanta, bro. But shit, if you engage in that shit, you on your own now. You know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas men at the end of the day. I know a couple y'all partners and shit out there and shit, but that shit ain't just gonna fall on you. That shit gonna fall on GD. You feel me? It gonna be the GD clicked up with the Atlanta niggas and popped on the SA. That's what the narrative gonna be, and that ain't the case, bro. So the bros that from Atlanta and shit, they ain't go down there and engage and shit. I'm like, shit, that's on you now. You know the business is the business when this shit hit the fan now. So the boy thought about that shit. They like, damn. So they ain't even go down there. This shit going down on the big floor. We on the top range looking at this shit. Know what I'm saying? You got a couple Migos. They got one of the Atlanta dude down bad. They hitting his ass with the locks. I'm talking about this shit going down, man. So I see the Atlanta nigga who I helped get the pack in, he done fuck around and caught the Migo who started all this shit, who was mad because bro had done caught the hoe. He got this nigga down bad. He choking this nigga out on the floor and he just stabbing that boy all in the chest and shit. He just stabbing him all in the chest. So another Migo come from the blind side of bro and he hit bro in the face with the lock. Boom, bro fall on the floor and shit. Next thing you know, you hear a nigga say 12 running down the wall, 12 running down the wall, 12 running down the wall. So bro laying on the face, his shit split open, he leaking this shit. And that thing, you know, buddy tried to hit him again with the lock, but he had the lock on the belt, and the belt was so long, brother caught the lock. That shit wrapped around his arm, and he pulled Amigo to him. I'm talking about pulled him down on the floor and had that nigga ass in the headlock. And he was just stabbing that nigga laying on the floor. He just stabbing that nigga ass. He stabbed him all the way to the police came. Police came in that bitch, they fucked the dorm up. They went to spraying that goddamn pepper spray because the Migos wasn't laying down. But the Atlanta niggas wasn't laying down neither. You know what I'm saying? Bro, it looked like every last nigga. Them niggas, now that was a real war. Everybody was bloody. The niggas from Atlanta had holes in them. The SA had holes in them. But if I had to say, I say them Atlanta niggas, they got off. They got off. I ain't even gonna count. All them niggas were turned. But shit, both sides.
Now you see how the Atlanta brothers went to war with all the Mexicans. The Bloods didn't jump in, the Crips didn't jump in, the GDs didn't jump in. It was just the Atlanta blacks versus all them Mexicans, right? Now just imagine if all the blacks would have jumped in and said, man, we finna smash these essays. They could have removed all those essays out of the whole facility. Just imagine if all the blacks say, you know what, we all finna ride. But it's not like that in Georgia. A lot of times it be the Bloods versus the Mexicans or the Muslims versus the Mexicans. All the blacks should have stood up to Riot for it. But guess what? The Atlanta blacks took care of business. They didn't even need the other blacks to help them, and they still took care of business.
Guys had casualty though. A lot of niggas got goddamn fucked up. So I'm in my room. And that thing, you know, Buddy tried to hit him again with the lock, but he had the lock on the belt, and the belt was so long, brother caught the lock. That shit wrapped around his arm, and he pulled Amigo to him. I'm talking about pulled him down on the floor and had that nigga ass in the headlock, and he was just stabbing that nigga laying on the floor. He just stabbing that nigga ass. He stabbed him all the way to the police came. Police came in that bitch, they fucked the dorm up. They went to spraying that goddamn pepper spray because Amigos wasn't laying down. But them Atlanta niggas wasn't laying down neither. You know what I'm saying? Bro, it looked like every last nigga. Them niggas, now that was a real war. Everybody was blooded. The niggas from Atlanta had holes in them. The SA had holes in them. But if I had to say, I say them Atlanta niggas, they got off. They got off. I ain't gonna count. All them niggas were turned. But shit, both sides had casualty though. A lot of niggas got goddamn fucked up. So I'm in my room coughing like a motherfucker. Feel like my eye about to pop out my head. You feel me? We got the fans on in that bitch. Police running around telling everybody to lock down and shit. You feel me? That shit was crazy as hell. So I finally get myself together where I could breathe and shit. I done tied a wet towel around my face and shit. I'm coughing. Chest hurting, eyes hurting. I'm like, damn. So they finally get all them niggas to medical. Like 2 dudes had to get airlifted though. You know what I'm saying? 2 SA had to get airlifted up out that bitch. You feel me? That shit was crazy, boy. And everybody to lock down and shit. You feel me? That shit was crazy as hell. So I finally get myself together where I could breathe and shit. I done tied a wet towel around my face and shit. I'm coughing. Chest.
My bad. I got the audio back. In Georgia, it'd be the Muslims. It'd be the Muslims versus all the Mexicans, or it'd be the Bloods versus all Muslims, or the GDs versus all Muslims, right? And the Mexicans all ride together. The Northerners and the Southerners, they get along in Georgia. So all those Mexicans, they click up and ride under the same banner because they all raza. But what I want my brothers in Georgia to understand is, like, when one black faction go at it with the Mexicans, y'all all need to go up. But guess what? The Muslims alone had enough soldiers to take care of the Mexicans by themselves. They didn't need the Muslims didn't need the Bloods, Crips, and the GDs to back them up. They smashed the SAs by themselves. The Atlanta brothers, the Atlanta brothers didn't need the Bloods, Crips, the Muslims, or the G's to help them. They took care of business with the Mexicans by themselves. But just imagine if all the blacks hopped in and said, oh, this is a black thing. This ain't got nothing to do with Atlanta, no Bloods and Crips. This is a racial issue. Just imagine what would have happened if all the blacks decided they was going to ride because it's all about blackness. So in Georgia State prisons, you got the Latin Kings, the Norteños, and the Sureños all clicking up because they all Mexicans going against one black faction. Just imagine what would have happened if all the blacks decided to ride. They would have smashed them. I mean, the Atlanta brothers took care of business. They didn't need no help. I did a story yesterday. The Muslims smash the essays by themselves with no help from the Bloods, Crips, or GDs. But moving forward, I want you brothers in Georgia to understand. This is what I want y'all to understand. Once it becomes a race issue, all blacks need to ride. Y'all got to stop saying, oh, that's just the Muslim business. That's just the Bloods business. That's just the GD business. That's just the Crip business. Once a situation becomes racial, all blacks in Georgia need to ride for that situation. Stop setting. Listen, I understand you guys got your gangs and different factions. I get it. But once a situation becomes racial, all blacks need to ride together. I'm speaking to my brothers out there in Georgia. Now, I understand the Muslims had enough soldiers to the point to where they didn't need help from no other black faction. The Atlanta brothers had so many soldiers to the point to where they didn't need no help from any other black faction. But moving forward, once it becomes a racial issue, all blacks in Georgia need to riot once it becomes racial.
Hurting, eyes hurt. He came in that bitch, they fucked the dorm up. They went to spraying that goddamn pepper spray because the Migos wasn't laying down. But them Atlanta niggas wasn't laying down neither. You know what I'm saying? Bro, it looked like every last nigga. Them niggas, now that was a real war. Everybody was bloody. The niggas from Atlanta had holes in them. The SA had holes in them. But if I had to say, I say them Atlanta niggas, they got off. They got off. I ain't gonna count. All them niggas were turned. But shit, both sides had casualty though. A lot of niggas got goddamn fucked up. So I'm in my room coughing like a motherfucker. Feel like my eye about to pop out my head. You feel me? We got the fans on in that bitch. Police running around telling everybody to lock down and shit. You feel me? That shit was crazy as hell. So I finally get myself together where I could breathe and shit. I done tied a wet towel around my face and shit. I'm coughing. Chest hurting, eyes hurting. I'm like, damn. So they finally get all them niggas to medical. Like 2 dudes had to get airlifted though. You know what I'm saying? 2 essays had to get airlifted up out that bitch. You feel me? That shit was crazy, boy. And a lot of the bro, after we came on lockdown, it probably like 3 days later, they kept us on lockdown like 3 days. A couple of bros that were from Atlanta, they like, damn, bro, that shit fucked me up. I'm like, what that? Man, having to stand back and wipe my homeboy, goddamn. I'm like, shit, bro, you know what you signed up for, my nigga? That shit ain't had nothing to do with no gangster, bro. It didn't. You feel me? That's a homeboy shit. I say, now think about it. You want to have to answer to the business because you got in some shit with your homeboy. You know how, you know protocol. You know how that shit go. So niggas was like,
Big E, what it do, bro?
What it do, Red? Bro, I ain't gonna even lie. Dude sound like a straight sucker. We ain't talking about outside. We talking about prison rules. Okay. If it's black and Latino, it like say if it's black and Mexican, any other Latino and the white boys is going to get in that against us. Okay, so you mean to tell me in jail it's all these different factions of black people, but you're gonna have black people. Now these Mexicans is going up against these blacks. But since it ain't you and you, oh, we ain't gonna get in that. Bro, you was all y'all was supposed to get together and smash. Period.
Yeah.
Period. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear nothing about no Cali cats because when it come riot time, we couldn't afford to be like, oh, that's the Bloods. Oh, that's the no, it was all of us. We all mixing it up. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, that's jail. You supposed to display your power in jail. So all y'all was supposed to come together and like, yeah, y'all trip with us. It's all of us. Dude, that is the weakest, most twat ass crap I've ever heard in my life. Oh, well, man, you know, that's on them, man. You know, they went to business, man. Boy, now see, what killed me with this, Red, if them cats was black, everybody be willing to crash out. Now, look, that's what I'm saying, man. This is to you niggas. This really ain't nothing to do with none of these other groups. But we got to keep this 100. We watch you Negroes run Mo 3 down on the freeway. We watch you Negroes run down on FBG Dub. We watch you Negroes put Julio Fulio in the crossfire like y'all was shooting at JFK himself.
Yeah.
right? We watched y'all walk into what was old girl up there in Oaktown tearing the guy red. Then we watched the video of somebody walked in there, walked right up to her back and walked right up out of it. We seen this. But when it come to everybody else, now y'all want to be political? Bruh, I don't want to hear nothing about none of y'all gangster no more. I'm keeping it 100. In jail, that's where you supposed to display it, right? Ain't you in there because you did some gangster ish? So now, when you get up in there, instead of you understanding that it's everybody versus you, y'all still trying to separate in jail.
Hey,
How is
Biggie,
Damn.
that not
hold on one
pathetic?
second, Biggie. Look, see, my people from Alabama and Georgia, the blacks in Georgia got so many numbers, right? And this is what they do. The Muslims got into it with the Mexicans and the Bloods, because in Georgia prisons, you got the Bloods, the GDs, the Crips, and the Muslims, and you got this independent black gang called the Goodfellas. So you got five different factions of black gangs, right? But when they go to war with the Mexicans, it just be one, because the Muslim felt like, well, we got so many soldiers. They unallied that they had a riot. The Muslims unallied one Mexican and shanked up the other ones. The Bloods didn't jump in, the Crips didn't jump in, the GDs didn't jump in, the GFs didn't jump in. And in Georgia state prisons, the Norteños and Serranos get along. Now we know in Cali they don't, but in Georgia, the Latin Kings, the Norteños and the Serranos, they all get along down there. And then you have another Latino gang called the Nietas that come from originally they come from Puerto Rico, but they got gangs in like New York and New Jersey. So in Georgia, anytime there's an issue with the Mexicans, all Mexicans come together to fight the blacks. And it usually be one black faction fighting all these Mexicans. I know y'all got the numbers in Georgia. Yes, we got the numbers down there. But still, if all they gangs don't come together, once it becomes a race issue, all blacks need to ride. Go ahead, Big E.
Bro, that's the facts of the matter. Again, we ain't talking about on the streets. Like if your section got into it with the 18th Street, okay, we get it. That's your, you know, that's your gang little thing. Okay, we get that. But in jail, everybody is against you. Like what I'm saying, it's all kind of like it ain't just Mexicans in jail, it's Salvadorians, Guatemalans, it's all kind of Latinos in there. But if it's getting ready to go up, they are all one,
Yeah.
okay? Including the white boys. So why is y'all sitting up instead of understanding that's the rules that's in prison? Again, we're talking about prison. So don't none of you cats get up in this chat and get to hollering about morals. When you're talking about prison, them cats ain't in jails for their morals. So I don't want to hear that.
So I
We
say, look,
talking
hey,
about
Big E, that's my
jail.
boy. Hey, Big E, that's my boy, Charlie Global. You know, I was out there in GA. That's my people. But I understand why you said what you said. Like, now Charlie got clout out there. Charlie had a lot of clout out there. But what happened is when this riot cracked off, he told the GDs and the Bloods to stand down, and this was just the black Atlanta. Now you got Bloods and Crips in Atlanta too, but this was like an Atlanta faction with just these were just like black rag Atlanta gangs. So the blacks from Atlanta, even though other blacks should have jumped in, two essays got airlifted up out of there. So it was like, but just imagine the damage they could have done if all blacks would have jumped in instead of just saying, well, that's just the Atlanta blacks versus all these Mexicans. That ain't our business. Go ahead, E.
Man, shout out to the ATL, bro. They understood the assignment. And I mean, I'm saying this, I read, I was sitting up listening to you or listening to this dude talk. And when he was like, well, nah, y'all on y'all own. Oh, bro, my mouth fell to the floor, bro. You know what I'm saying? This dude, and I'm not, this is no disrespect, but again, we're talking about jail. Jail is about establishing power, dominance. That's what it is. If you've been to the penitentiary before, anybody in the chat tell me I'm lying. The reason that blacks and Mexicans in Cali riot the way they do because, or the way that they trip, because they have the numbers, pure and simple. That's it. That's it. So if you got the numbers, but you're playing, oh well, no, they ain't got nothing to do with it. What then you gonna let them put their ass on their chest? See, down south they can't run to the border. It's way more blacks going to be in those systems than anybody else.
Yeah.
You are supposed to flex your muscle, period. We're talking about jail, y'all. So don't nobody get their panties in a bunch. This is jailhouse rules. We're talking jail. It's about numbers. And if you got the numbers, you running it. But if they go in there, oh, well, we can trip with them blacks, and them blacks ain't gonna trip. Nigga,
They ain't gonna
that's
trip.
still insane.
Yeah. They ain't gonna trip. Because look,
Yeah.
Biggie, because look, the Muslims, the SA was tripping off the Muslim because the Muslim owed him some money. The Muslim said, listen, man, I'm gonna pay you when my mom get out of the hospital. The SA, so I don't care about none of that. Da, 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 da. So it went up with the Muslims, and the Muslims smashed the SAs by themselves. The Bloods didn't get involved, the Crips, the GDs, the GFs. Now, I know they got enough numbers, but they would be way more stronger to the point to where anytime, if it was a race issue, if all the blacks got SAs, they wouldn't say nothing. But see, what the SAs know in Georgia, if we get into it with the Bloods, it's just going to be the Bloods, the Crips, the GDs, and the Muslims ain't going to get involved. But anytime there's an issue with the SAs, the Latin Kings, the Serranos, and the Norteños, they all come together. They make it a race issue. We don't make it a race
That
issue. We separate ourselves. Y'all got the numbers now, but keep in mind, y'all got to still, like, y'all got to cut that. Yes, you have the numbers, but don't play that set tripping. It's all about blackness at the end of the day. Blacks in Georgia will have more power than what they have today. If anytime it became a race issue, they're like, nah, this is bigger than Crip, Blood, GD, or Muslim. This is a black issue. Just imagine the amount of damage they could have done if all blacks would have rolled for this situation. Now, don't get it twisted. The Atlanta brothers still took care of business and had the SAs airlifted. They could have demolished them if all blacks said, no, this is a black issue. We all gonna ride.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. So I ain't gonna even lie to you, bro. I don't want to hear it no more. I don't want to hear you. I know, shut up, be quiet. Because again, Red, on the street, you supposed to be civil. You get what I'm saying? You ain't supposed to be acting out like that. But if you in jail and we're talking about a prison riot, that's where you supposed to display where you at, nigga. Let's see if you really got that S on your chest.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I mean, do you get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, see, when you out here and you got access to them switches and yeah, it's easy, bro. Anybody can do that. I mean, if you remember the days in the wire, you remember it was a little boy who murked Omar. Omar was the most gangster cat on the series. And a
Right. Yeah.
little boy murked him, right?
Yeah.
We talking about the dude that was sticking up the dope houses. You know what I'm saying? Going here, there, and just gangstering everybody, going after everybody. And a little boy ended up ending that man's life. See what I'm saying?
Clapping
Because
him
he
up.
got access to that switch.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But see, now in jail, right? Now you got to really walk that talk. You got to really stand on that in jail. Again, we ain't don't nobody get on here and get to hollering about no morals in jail. Because I repeat, niggas ain't in jail because of their morals. Niggas is in jail because of their immoral decisions. So don't get in jail and all of a sudden get a conscience and morals, especially when young people being attacked.
Yeah. Hey, Big
But
E.
I swear, this is insane, Red. I ain't never heard nothing like this in my life. We talking about in jail again, jail.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. There was an issue in South Carolina, which is next door to Georgia, and I'm gonna bring Trav up. And I just want blacks in Georgia to know, yeah, we got the numbers out there, but anytime there's war with Mexicans, it don't matter that they're smaller. the Latin Kings, the Norteños, the surround, they all click up to go against all blacks. So when it's a race issue, all blacks need to ride. Let me bring up my man Trav, and I'm gonna bring up Scoop, and I'm gonna bring Big E back up too. Trav, where you at, my brother?
Man, what up, Red? Man,
What
you
it
doing
do,
some good work
Trav?
over here, dude, man. What it do, Big E? Man, you said a mouthful, man. You said, oh, let me take my retain out. You said a mouthful,
Insane,
man.
Trav. I ain't never heard of nothing like this in my life, bro. If it's up, it's up. It ain't never
Absolutely.
been. I ain't never heard of this before, bro. Like I swear, I ain't trying to be funny, but I ain't never heard of this, bro.
No, and this is the thing, right? You know what I like about this platform? You know the same way how we critique California. That's not something that we just gonna do with California. This is corrections for foundational Black Americans. We touching every coast. We touching on everything. I'm from the South, right? So I can kind of explain that situation, right? Now there's a certain level of unity in the South. There's a certain level of unity. But at the same time, remember, we are direct descendants of slaves. So sometimes that slave mentality is seen and it's on full display. You see it not even just in the streets, you see it in the workplace. Remember, this is the place where they actually had those plantations. So even though those plantations no longer exist, what you have is plantation dynamics, what I call plantation dynamics. You go to Charleston, where I'm from, they want the black males outside cutting the grass. They want the unattractive black woman in the back of the kitchen. They want the attractive black woman right up under the white men that work in those high level corporate positions. Downtown Charleston, the Medical University of South Carolina, you got white men in positions of power pushing up on black women. I call it plantation dynamics. So even in the streets, right? When you down south, you know what I mean? In a city like you in Georgia, South Carolina, you got a lot of brothers that they'll mean mug you and size up another black man, and then a white man could walk up right behind you and they'll say, "Hey, how you doing?" You know what I mean? So we got to call it across the board. Now, it's a lot of riders down south. Make no mistake, that's the home of the riders, but you definitely have some cooning and buffooning. Now, I agree with you, E. I consider that this brother's mentality to be kind of coonish. I understand, like on that gang level, on that street level, I get it. You know what I mean? You have different organizations, but at the same time, this is where I do salute Cali. I actually met a dude in Wisconsin from California that told me about this. He was locked up in Wisconsin. He was like, "Man, these dudes is weird." I'm like, "What you mean?" He said, in Cali, in Cali, man, you rock with your race. When you locked up, I mean, this is not anything I saw in the YouTube video. This is a brother I met from California, from LA, that I met him in Wisconsin. He ended up being locked up in Wisconsin. He was talking about how some of the black guys will be cool with the Native Americans or the whites and then look at another brother and give him the side eye. So I salute California for that. The structure, and this is a good thing that you're doing here, Red, because like you said, they already beat him, right? But going back to what Big E said, you're supposed to smash him. Listen, we do this at every level, at the corporate level, at the political level. I don't care if we're talking politics, business, streets. You want your nation, you want your group to be dominant at every level. At the end of the day, this exists in every culture. Some people are going to be a part of that street life. It's been going on since the beginning of time. Since Jesus walked the earth, you had people that live the street life. I don't promote that. I don't glorify that. But if you're going to live the street life, I want my people to be dominant on that level. At every level, we need to have our ish together. I'm trying not to curse. We got to have our ish together at every level. So if my people are going to be in the penitentiary, then we need to have power in the penitentiary. The power is protection, y'all. The power is actual protection. I'm saying, and you reap societal benefits when you have power. You could be the weakest black man on earth. If you go to jail and if you go to prison, right? Now you may have some other issues among your race, but if you're a part of a strong race, a strong group, that drastically improves the quality of your life. That may be the difference between you making it home or you dying in prison. And people do die in the penitentiary, and it doesn't make the news every day. It's happening right now. So I totally agree with Biggie. Like I'm all about overkill, y'all. White people, white supremacists, they understood the concept of overkill. We don't just beat you, we gonna beat the brakes off you. And it's critically important that we operate like this as Black Americans, because we are a extremely hated group. Now they hate us because they hate us. They hate us because of our greatness. But regardless, the fact remains they hate us. And because they hate us, we need to have things in place, societal benefits. These societal benefits come from our behavior. You know what I mean? When you in the penitentiary, hey, look, we all Black. Let's smash them essays. That's how I'm rocking. I totally agree with Biggie on that. But I will say this: it's still a display of power. It shows you how powerful we could be. We are literally opting out. We are choosing to opt out of power by making the decisions that we make. If we crush them, if one little group of Muslims crushed them, and for those who don't know, that's just one faction. That's just one organization among many other Black organizations in the prison system. So if it was the Blacks against the essays as opposed to the Muslims or just the Atlanta crew, it would have crushed them. It would have been a total annihilation. And I'm gonna tell y'all what the difference would be. If it was total annihilation, if they would have did them dirty, if they would have did them filthy, they probably wouldn't have to worry about too many issues after that. You're gonna have problems in the penitentiary, right? But you can keep those problems down to a minimum. You can make those problems minimal when you present yourself as a formidable group, a formidable force. And I'm gonna land my plane on that. I'm gonna let you shoot some questions.
I'm gonna bring up Scoop, but you're right about that. Like if all the Blacks would have rolled, it would have been an annihilation. Essays would have never even thought about getting out of line, because what they do know is, well, if we get into it, it's only going to be with one Black faction. That gives them hope. Them hope. Even though they got smashed by the Muslims in one riot and by the Atlanta crew in another riot, then I got another story. The GDs got into it with the Mexicans. No other group got in. It was just the GDs versus the Mexicans, and the GDs ran them off of the yard, ran them out of they had to move all the Southsiders to a whole nother prison because the GD smashed them. But guess what? Like you said, it would have been an annihilation if all Blacks would have said, you know, we finna set down a demonstration. You disrespect Black, we all gonna riot. They could have annihilated them. Even though the essays got airlifted, when they went to war with the Muslims unaligned one of them and poked the other ones up. When they went to war with the Atlanta brothers, they still won. When they went to war with the GDs, they still, but it could have been an annihilation, 100%. And that would have sent. And guess what? That would have sent a strong message, like y'all don't have a chance over here whatsoever. Let me bring up Scoop, man. Scoop, where you at?
One last thing, Red, because you made a good point. So, like you said, like that gave the essays some hope. That gave the Mexicans some hope. And I'm gonna tell y'all why hope is dangerous, right? We had hope when we were subjected to chattel slavery. That hope is the thing that will allow people to rise and push through. You know what I mean? So this is my thing. We see what's happening in California with the dominance that they have in the California prison system. Well, I'll say this with the dominance they have in the California prison system. Red is showing y'all this so that we can start being proactive instead of reactive. The reactive days are over, all right? Unless you want to keep losing. So my thing is this: the reason why we should have smashed them is because if you get in a fight with somebody and you win the fight, but they feel like they got some good licks in, they feel like they could have had you, they're gonna read the 48 laws of power. They're gonna go somewhere, isolate themselves, and get stronger and grow and recruit more. You gotta crush them. I'm talking about you gotta crush them psychologically. No hope. They need to know that they will have no power in these southern prisons, right? And we also need to revamp and reevaluate what's going on in Cali. I'm gonna land my plane with that.
Yeah, you're right about that. Like when you crush them, it lets them know they had no chance. Even though they still lost, they still know, well, if we get into it with the Bloods, the rest of the Blacks ain't gonna jump in. That gives them hope. Go ahead, Scoop. Shout out to my dog, Scoop.
Hey, Red, let me bounce. Hey, salute to Scoop, Red, but I got to bounce. And I'm going to just say this before I leave.
All right.
Remember, you see these prison riots, right? You see who they attacking. But just a few months ago, They the same group of people that was asking you where was you at. Just remember that. You know what I'm saying? Just remember incidents like this when they say, well, how come they seem xenophobic? Just remember incidents like this. And I'm going to land with that. Y'all
Shout out
stay
to
winning, drink your water, eat your veggies, man.
my dog Big E. Scoop, you got the flow, my brother.
Salute, salute. Can you hear me, Red?
Yeah, I got you.
Salute to Big E. Trav, where you been, bro? Salute to
Man,
you.
what it do, man? I'm glad to be back on the panel with you, man. Hey, look, man, you ain't need me. Y'all over here cooking, man. You ain't need me. I just came to get played. I just came to get my plate.
You salute, hey, salute to the chat. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do what we do over here. We're gonna keep it a buck. We're gonna show how we feel as FBAs, and we ain't taking nothing off of nobody. And with that being said, in prison, it ain't no different. The fact that you allow your enemy hope, what that does, hope makes people think they got chances. Hope will make people come up out the ashes and believe, hey, we may have lost, but we didn't lose bad. We could have won that. That's the reason why, as a faction in prison, them brothers got to understand. When you got the numbers, you use what you got. You use every single resource that you have. You don't hold back. You make them understand. Don't you ever try this mess again, because you got no win.
That's right.
Period. That's what you supposed to do. Because in Cali, being that the Hispanics got numbers the way they do, everybody got to go to war. It ain't no such thing as, oh no, man, I'm choked to the house. I'm not trying to get. Ain't no such thing as what you ain't trying to do. You may not make it to the house, so you gonna put yours in. I don't care who you is. You gonna put yours in. We got to have that same mentality. You know, I understand what you said, Red, about the Muslims had it that day or whoever had it. Yeah, that's great. That's great that you know, hey, a little portion of us can do it. But when it's standing on blackness, that needs to take everybody that dons this skin that I'm donning right now. That means we all coming for you. That means don't you ever fix your mind to even think that you're going to turn it racial, because you got to deal with every last one of us. That's the way we supposed to move. That's the way we should move all the time, in prison and on the streets, because we all know prison does dictate the streets. You don't let them get to the point to where they feel, because if you think that they ain't striving to take over, that's exactly what's in their mind. They just don't have the numbers to do it. And when it comes to them over there, them people that claim they brown when they not really brown, they looking to take over. They're not here to assimilate. They're here to dominate. We, as long as we've been here, we shouldn't take no disrespect of anybody trying to come in and dominate, especially not in the South. Not our stronghold, the South, where most of us come from, our grandparents come from. We gonna take that down there. We gonna allow them to move on in and just take over and show they dominance. No, that's the time. Hey, we got a free one here. It's a free one. That's when we supposed to really act a gum. Ain't no such thing as, oh well, we handled that. We need all. No. When it comes to our blackness, we all need to get in there, and we need to send a strong message to them, because that strong message ain't gonna stay in the South. It's gonna be worldwide.
Hey, quick question. I want you to explain something to the people, because you're making a good point. And tell the people how that can affect the domino effect of how that can affect our politics, not only at the street level, the political level. When people know, don't mess with that group. If you mess with one, you got to deal with them all. Explain to the people how that the effects, the cause and effect of that, as far as our politics, whether it be the street politics in the penitentiary, the street politics on the streets, or politics at the highest level of government. Break it down for them, man.
Oh, for sure, Trav. I'm gonna give y'all a little history here. I'm out in Cali. We got a lady called Nuri Martinez who was on the LA City Council, right? And they were doing something called redistricting, basically trying to make everything great for the Latinos and push out the blacks. Because what they believe is blacks ain't gonna do nothing. We ain't gonna come. We ain't gonna give them no pushback. So we not a factor in their eyes. And that's politics. That's pushing us out of our city. LA is our city. I don't care how many Hispanics come there, Latinos, Mexicans, whatever you want to call them, Salvadorians, they coming to our city. LA was a stronghold that we built. Our ancestors built LA, not them. No matter what lie they want to tell and all that, no, that was our stronghold. Well, when you ain't got the right people in power, and you putting those people in power, they are going to always champion for their people only. They are going to gatekeep for their people only. And it becomes a situation of how they're going to push us out and make room for their people. That starts going with homes. That starts going with jobs. That starts going with businesses. Everything is now catered to them. So as someone, a foundational black American, you being pushed out. You looking around, and the more you look around, you seeing more and more ain't nothing for you. So therefore, what do blacks in LA start doing? Blacks in California start doing? They start looking around and saying, this place ain't for me no more. Let me get up out of here and go someplace else. Let me go buy a house someplace else. Let me go pick up my family and move to Lancaster, move to Pondale, move to Riverside, move to Victorville, move to Moreno Valley, move to Banning, move to Las Vegas. Because that's why you see so many of us transplants that came from LA somewhere else because of that situation. And it works the same way in the prison system. It works the same way in society, politics. All that is an effect of us not standing up and putting it down when they get out of hand. When we see them trying to push that hard line, we need to push back. We always say on the street, hey, you do what you do over there, because remember one thing: you bark at us, we bark back.
Hey, Scoop, one more thing here, and this is a question for Red. You can chime in too. This is for y'all, for my brothers down here on the West Coast. Now, I noticed during the Bush era, we associate illegal immigration with the Democrats, as we should. But if y'all remember, George Bush actually allowed a large influx of Mexicans in this country, a large influx of illegals, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. I'm from the city of North Charleston, right? And I noticed this takeover, it's a quiet, hostile takeover. The way it works is one day you look up and you notice an influx of illegals, Mexicans, immigrants, whatever you want to call them, and it doesn't happen overnight. I went to Walmart one day. On Rivers Avenue in North Charleston, right? And I noticed me and my homeboy looked at each other. And we was like, "Damn, that's a lot of Mexicans." And we slowly started to notice certain plazas that used to have black and white businesses. You started noticing more Mexican businesses, and it's a quiet, hostile takeover. The reason why we got to pay attention to the information that's being shared, y'all, is you're not going to see boats pull up on your shores. It's not the old colonization formula. You're not going to see white men running around on horses. You're not going to see Mexicans running around on horses wrangling people up. You're going to start to see businesses pop up. Next thing you know, you're going to start to notice an influx of essays of Mexicans in your community.
Yeah.
And then you start to see this stuff leak over into politics, right? Like what we're dealing with right now. It goes from being a black conversation to being a black and brown conversation, and all the resources, the actual tangible resources, are allocated to the non-black people. White people get some, even though they stole everything and oppressed you, and they are responsible for the economical circumstances that foundational black Americans deal with today. They reap more benefits from these liberal policies, these people of color policies. You know what I mean? the Latinos walk away with money, tangible benefits, government benefits. They now own more homes than you in your country, the country that was built on the backs of your ancestors. They now own more homes than you.
Hey, Trav, I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
In North Carolina, 70% of the new homeowners are Latinos. I just did a story on that. In South Carolina, Mexican Latinos are the fastest growing population in North Carolina, South Carolina. Matter of fact, they're the fastest growing population in the South, period. So,
right.
Yeah, so when I'm telling my people in North Carolina and South Carolina, they're the fastest growing population, and they represent 70% of the new homeowners. So
and they're gonna
that ain't a wake up call. If that ain't a wake up call, I don't know what is, Foundation.
And this is the thing, right? The Democrats, the liberals know what they're doing. And I'm saying I'm gonna say the white supremacists know what they're doing, because all of those Hispanics who you're referring to, they have a more cohesive relationship between the men and women of their community. They're going to have children. Even at the lowest levels of poverty, they're going to reproduce. And there's a reason why they don't want us to have a cohesive relationship between foundational Black American man and woman, right? Y'all, I want you to understand all these things are happening simultaneously for a reason. They're getting the homes. They're getting the government benefits. Meanwhile, we got politicians trying to divide us as a people. I want y'all to understand that a lot of this stuff is not organic. COINTELPRO is real. They are intentionally trying to divide us, not only divide the men and women. They have our men divided into different factions: Bloods, Crips, GDs, Vice Lords, East Side, West Side. Know what I'm saying? West Coast, East Coast. This is all a plan, y'all. This is all a plan. We have to find the answers within, because as a foundational Black American, you are living in a psyop, a psyop. We cannot take the influence. We cannot allow these outside influences to influence us, because people know that Caucasian population is dwindling. Hispanics are growing exponentially at a fast rate. And right now we are in a battle to figure out who's going to control America. Who's going to control America? And a lot of people are very afraid that foundational Black Americans will pull the levers of power in the United States of America, right? Because it's inevitable. That white population is going to decline. But trust me, they're not going without a fight. You got to
look, Trav.
Yeah.
They did a study, and I covered this yesterday. The white population in North Carolina has declined 14%. The white population in Tennessee has declined 15%. Same thing in other cities in the South. So the white population is on the decline. Even the Black population is on the decline. But the Hispanic Latino population is what? On the down rise. If that ain't a wake-up call for foundational Black Americans, I don't know what is. Jason Black, the Black Authority, said we must delineate from feminism, right? And this is why FBA people been mad at me, but I don't care about them suckers. They marks. They're simps. He said, if we're going to delineate from how come we haven't delineated from feminism? A lot of our women, a very large percentage, anything over 50% represents the majority. We all know, Trav. Yeah. We love foundational Black Americans, but we're honest at the same time. The majority of our women are feminists. And Jason Black, this is what I'm saying. It's been a part of our culture since the 70s when Black women embraced feminism. Our foundational Black American brothers online, they're too damn busy arguing with tethers and Africans. When I understand they have to be called out too, but the FBA stronghold is the South, and is at risk of being taken over by Latinos. And instead of attacking feminism and the fastest growing population in our backyard, which is Latinos, we're making videos talking about tethers and Africans. Do you know that Black immigrants only represent 2% of the population in this country? Latinos are 20% of the overall population of this country. And they're the fastest growing group in the South. So what do I look like arguing with fucking Africans and tethers all day when Mexicans and Latinos are trying to take over the FBA stronghold, which is the
Let me elaborate on that. But this is the thing, Red. Like you making a good point. See, we know where we're good. If we're good there, if we're good in a particular area, we don't need to sit there and celebrate it and linger over it, right? Haitians just and shout out, and I wish them the best, but we just took a victory with this situation with the Haitian TPS and also with the Somalians as well, right? So okay, we leave that alone, right? We're good there. We need to direct our attention towards the problems. The largest population of tethers, you know what I mean? No disrespect to the Latinos who I rock with, but the largest population of tethers is Latinos.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is, even though that white population is declining, remember in South Africa, the whites had everything on smash, had everything on lock, and they were not the majority. Okay, I'm going to tell you what's going on here in the States. I introduce you to the buffer class. The Latinos will be the new buffer class because, and especially because you have a lot of mulattoes in that culture. You know what I mean? They have identity issues where they have African blood and they have European blood, and a lot of them choose to lean into, at least in the States, they choose to lean into the whiteness, the European side. Yeah. Now, how do you lean into whiteness? They got to put on a show for white daddy. How do you put on a show for white daddy? Go give them Negroes a hard time. Give those Negroes a hard time. And stop
the blacks. Yeah.
Right. And stop. And I'm going to tell you what it is, Rick. Stop their upward mobility. Stop the upward mobility of the foundational Black Americans. And white daddy will give you some crumbs off the table.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's, I wanted to say that. I'm going to let you finish.
Yeah. I mean, and I get mad at our people. Not only are Africans, Haitians, and Black Caribbeans, they're the smallest population in this country, and they're getting deported. We're not going to war with them in the streets. We're not going to war with them in prison. They're not the ones overpopulated in the South. The Latinos, the anti-Black Latinos, are the ones that are overpopulated in the South. So why do we need to make videos talking about other Black people all day when that ain't our biggest problem? And this is what pisses me off on our people as well. If we're so against tethers, how did Kamala Harris, which is the epitome of a tether, win the majority of the FBA vote? 90% of FBA women voted for Kamala Harris. I'm saying 90-something% of FBA women who did voted for Kamala Harris. 70-something% of FBA men who did voted for Kamala Harris. So if we're so against tethers, how is that possible? So what's the point in making videos about tethers all day when we all know that the majority of FBA people who did voted for a cosplaying tether who's also married to a white man? Do you know what Kamala Harris would have done if she would have won this past election? She would have kept the borders open and flooded Black communities with millions of more immigrants, as if we ain't got enough already. And for some reason, all these foundational Black Americans who get mad at me for calling out the Black woman for being a feminist, these are the same people who voted for a cosplaying tether that's married to a damn white man. That is crazy.
Red, it's almost, Red, check this out. It's almost like they want to import your ops. I mean, everyone that's in opposition of the Black man, I mean, it's like they're trying to import our enemies. We got to be real about this. All these prison riots we talk about and everything, you said it yourself, it all comes back to anchor babies. So we got an opportunity right now in the South in particular, to go ahead and reverse it. Remember what I spoke about a long time ago when I first came on this show. I spoke about foresight. Let's live and learn. Like, you live and you learn. It's time to live and learn. We've lived. It's time to learn. Now, how do you prove that you've learned? You implement new tactics. You implement new strategies. The gangs, on a good note, for all we know, some people from the gangs could be watching this show in the penitentiary right now. So hopefully this information will get to them to where they make adjustments and they say, you know what? From now on, it's a Black thing. If somebody, regardless of what set they come from, if we have a problem with another race, we join forces like Voltron. Right. I form the head. We join forces like Voltron and we smash them. We crush them with no mercy. We crush them with no mercy. You know what I'm saying? So that's on the street level. You know what I'm saying? At the political level, down south, let's keep it a buck. A lot of that's where most of your Democrat votes come from. Southern Blacks. the HBCUs, the HBCU crowd, the
Hey,
AKAs,
hey,
Deltas.
Trap, I want you to continue, but you cooking, brother. Do you
Yeah.
know that New Orleans got a Mexican mayor now? You know why New Orleans got a Mexican mayor? Because they're the fastest growing population in Louisiana,
Lord
and the
have
Met.
mercy. Are
And
you serious?
I'm serious, bro. New
New
Orleans
Orleans got
got a.
a
It's
Mexican
a
mayor.
female. Look, bro. This is a female. A female is the mayor of New Orleans, and blacks are still the majority of New Orleans, but they gave them a Mexican mayor to cater to the growing Latino population all across the New Orleans metro area. So yes, they have a Mexican mayor in New Orleans now. So what does that tell you? They're trying to cater to that growing Latino population. And I've
Yeah.
been telling brothers in the South for a long time, if y'all don't wake up and stop voting Democrat, you're going to import the same people that ruined California. You see what's going on in Cali? Do you really want the FBA stronghold, which is the Deep South, to become Cali? Take heed from your player partner, King Supreme. I'm not lying to y'all. I'm telling you what I know. I'm not telling you what I think or feel. Stop voting Democrat. If there's a race issue, it needs to be a race issue. All brothers need to link up and handle that damn business. So if you brothers in Georgia, not just in Georgia, all across America, if it's a race issue, we all need to go up. Period.
Yeah.
That's real black power right there. Go ahead, Trav.
And you know one thing I noticed, Red. I'll say this. Like I said, I got my critiques. I have my critiques of the Republican Party, but when you see a non-white person in the Republican Party, you can trust and believe that they're gonna toe that line. We need to learn that. If we're gonna have a Godfrey, if we're gonna have basically any non-foundational Black American person trying to speak for us, we're gonna give them a script. They better have a script. Listen, y'all. I want us to learn to have a better relationship with power. Well, some of y'all are like, well, he can express himself and yada. I don't want him to express himself. I want him to express what's in foundational Black Americans' best interests. Be a puppet. Listen, we can have our own coons. Say, look, nigga, get in front of that camera, say this, and we'll pay you. Push our narrative. We got to operate like that at the highest levels of power. You know what I'm saying? We need to have movies, mainstream movies where the Black man is the hero. I want to see nappy hair blowing in the wind, riding off in the sunset with a woman. We got to flip this thing. We got to flip this thing and put ourselves in positions of power. You know what I mean? And also, even though we definitely have some issues we need to address with our women, these FBA women who have platforms that are actually riders, we got to support that. You got to subscribe. You got to give them a thumbs up. You got to lift them up. Bring them on the panel. I welcome them. I used to like what's the House and Nicole B. I don't know how that relationship is now, but I like the House and Nicole B. She made some good points, whatever.
She still rock with the platform. Shout out to that sister.
Shout out to House and Nicole B. I want to let y'all sisters know we see you. I see you, baby. I see the ones who riding, and I appreciate you a lot. The reason why I appreciate you is because I'll be honest. If I was a Black American woman in this environment, right, I know that I would have problems if I didn't toe the line of feminism. If I didn't toe that feminism line, you get punished socially. They get punished socially. They catch a lot of hell behind that. But we got to back them up. The ones who actually ride. The ones who ride. But
they pick.
The only reason why we touch on that,
I'm gonna say this, Trav. Black women who speak out against feminism catch a lot of hell, and I've been saying this to my FBA community. I've been calling out feminism, and that's a major problem. Feminism led to the Black woman being the least married. Feminism led to the Black woman aborting her babies at the highest rate. Feminism led to the Black woman filing for divorce at the highest rate. Prior to Black women being feminists in the 1940s, 50s, and early 60s, they were the most married. They had the highest birth rate, and they didn't abort their babies. So why is it that FBA men are afraid to call out feminism? And I'm sick of the simps that we have in our community. You got FBA men with large platforms, but they never take the time to call out feminism. And feminism has done more damage to the Black community than anything else. Prior to feminism, we had the highest birth rates, the highest marriage rates, and we didn't abort our babies. But how? And I don't want to get your opinion, and I already got my thoughts on this. Why is it that these brothers with large microphones in the FBA community never call out feminism? There you go, Trav.
Because and this is real. You can experience this right now. Go among the women in your family and say the wrong thing. This
Yeah.
is something. This is something that has been ingrained in our culture, going way back to chattel slavery. All right. If you say something, the backlash is nasty, right? And not only is the backlash nasty, as a black man, you will actually lose access to women in your family. You will be cut off. You will actually lose romantically. You know what I mean? You could be on a date. You could be on a date, and you could be on a date and tell a sister that, hey, look, I don't support the Democrats, and they'll end the date. Like I mean, that's true. Like you literally have women. The world is different now. People feel so strong about politics that if you have an opposing view, if you have a different opinion, you'll be cut off. And that's just all Americans, period, but especially foundational Black Americans in today's world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not coming down on y'all. I'm just saying, I ain't telling you nothing that you don't already know. I ain't telling you nothing.
Trav, I'm gonna say this. When I was calling out the black men for being a Sambo and being all cut earlier this year, when I was just talking about white supremacy, immigration, and black men that's off code, I was going in on Anton Daniels, Officer Tatum, the Hodge twins, Tommy. When I was calling out black men for being off code, we had 800, 900, 1,000 people in the live chat. When I started to call out feminism, you know, all those black women that used to support this platform earlier this year quit showing up once I started calling out feminism. You know where they flock to? You know where they flock to, Trav? They flock to channels in the FBA community that don't call out feminism. They flock to channels that talk about tethers all day.
They want a dose of that feel good. They want a dose of that feel good.
They want a dose of that feel good. So the problem is this, Trav. Most of the men in our community are effing simps. They're beta males.
Yeah.
They're too afraid to hold a black woman accountable because they're afraid that they might lose the black female support. But guess what? It does you harm. It does you more harm to call it out versus not calling it out.
Yeah, I believe we having a war, Red. We having a war.
That's what I'm saying, Trav. These Negroes, they talk about tethers all day, and tethers are the smallest population in this country, and they're getting deported as we speak. Absolutely. How you gonna talk about white supremacy and not call out feminism when feminism is a symptom? Feminism is a direct symptom of white supremacy. So how you got a large FBA platform where FBA people tap in and hear what you say, and you never call out feminism?
Red,
that is truly weak and pathetic.
Red, this is where I disagree. It's not a symptom; it's the main ingredient. White supremacy.
You're right.
Listen, white supremacy is a dish.
You're right,
when
brother.
You bake a cake. You got to have certain ingredients. You got to have that milk. You got to have those eggs. You know what I mean? Feminism is the engine that keeps white supremacy going in today's modern world, because we are no longer shackled. Feminism is the worst kind of white supremacy, because feminism is literally your woman making a choice. It's totally voluntary. Now, I'll say this. Now, the circumstances, right? The circumstances that white supremacy created influences that choice. I'm going to repeat this.
Yes.
The circumstances that white supremacy created influences that choice. So I do have empathy for sisters, right? But at the end of the day, God gave you free will. It's still a choice. You are choosing to side with white supremacy against your men. You are demobilizing us as a tribe. You are demobilizing your own tribe.
You're right, and I want you to answer this question, because I know you're gonna cook on this. This person said, "What is feminism doing to hurt black men today?" I'm lost. Well, you're damn right you lost if you don't understand how it hurts the black man. Go ahead and break it down to this fool about how feminism not only hurts the black man, it stagnates the progress of black people. Go ahead, Trav.
Absolutely. So check this out. The no good Congressional Black Caucus, the Coon Caucus, I call it the Congressional Coon Caucus. All right, those are your Democrats, right? Blue no matter who. They did a study proving that immigration affects black men the most. The person that endures the most damage from immigration is the foundational Black American man. It affects him with job opportunities. We see that now when you go to temp services, when you look at construction companies, these construction companies used to have more black men. But what they do is they pay illegal immigrants, right? Or illegal immigrants, or some people may not even be illegals, but they just may be Latino, and they pay them lower wages. They pay illegal immigrants lower wages because when you deal with the foundational black American man, he can't be deported. He's a part of the system. You have to pay him a livable wage. They don't have the ability to demand a livable wage. The money that they make, the American currency goes a lot further in Mexico and these other Latin American countries. Okay, so that's one negative effect, right? Now, how does that affect black women? It always affects black women negatively when black men have limited options for employment, right? That's going to affect his daughter. That's going to affect his sister. That's going to affect his mother. You know what I mean? Keep in mind, we got to get away from this false narrative about black men being coddled, because if you grew up in a neighborhood like I grew up, a lot of brothers were helping them, had to help their mother out. A lot of black men grew up helping their mother out. I know y'all know that. I know y'all know about that, right?
So, and bro, look, black men have taken penitentiary chances to help their mother out because their mother wasn't married when they had them. So since she failed to pick a husband, your son, who's a boy, got to step up and be the man of the house and take penitentiary chances to help the mama out with bills. Now, this other dude, I don't know if this is a man or woman. He said, I highly doubt that baby mamas are aware of any feminism. Well, that's even worse. If you're not aware, you can be working for the white man in the system and not even be aware of it because you're not conscious. That is a bigger problem right there. So when you say you highly doubt that baby mamas are aware of any feminists, that shows that they're not conscious if they're not aware. Go ahead, Trav.
Well, here's the thing, that's an oxymoron, because the term baby mama comes from feminism, because the term baby mama is not as honorable. It doesn't have the same level of status. It doesn't reap the same level of benefits as the title of being a wife, right? All of that stuff is subscribed to us, right? It's subscribed to us to further demobilize the nuclear family. So for someone to say that baby mamas don't know anything about feminism, baby mamas are the product of feminism. They are the epitome of feminism, because that baby mama is supposed to be a wife. If she chose to have children, she should be a wife, and she should form a union with her man, and we all reap the benefits of that. We all reap the benefits of strong families. You know what I mean? So I don't know what this individual is smoking, but I'm gonna continue, Red, because that we touched on those policies, right? Those policies and immigration and everything, but also when the Democrats and these politicians come out and they make the distinction between black women and black men. Professor Black Truth just did a great show on this, right? When they make that distinction, we're supposed to look at that the same way we look at when they say black and brown. We up on game now about the whole black and brown thing, right? We know that that's a red flag. So unless they come to us and they say black people, and they say black Americans, or they say foundational black Americans, you can't come to our group talking about one particular demographic within that group. We are a group. No other group. They don't do this with any other group. They don't say Latino woman, white woman. They don't make those distinctions. They do that with us because this is a part of the psyop. This is a part of the agenda to further divide us. You know what I mean? And that 92% that supported Kamala Harris, luckily it didn't work, because if it did work, yes, that would further demobilize black men, because that would be more racist, anti-black Mexicans in this country, right? More of Nuri Martinez, city hall official in Los Angeles, that was plotting against black Americans. She wasn't plotting against black men. She was plotting against the foundational black American community.
Yes, she was.
You follow me, audience? Does the audience follow me? Nuri Martinez, this Mexican American, when she got into politics and she got in a position of power, she didn't try to demobilize just black men. She tried to demobilize black people. This is the reason why we have to stop them before they can even get in that position. Nori Martinez is a product of years and years of black Americans, black American women in particular, supporting liberal and democratic policies. There would never be a Nuri Martinez if we didn't support those policies. But because they got that overwhelming support, especially from black women in particular, you got city hall officials in Los Angeles rezoning, plotting to take resources and funds away from black Los Angeles. That's the cause and effect. And that's at the political level. Now, we just had the conversation about the street level. I hope y'all following us because we just had the conversation about the street level. So I hope that gave y'all some clarity, man.
But you know what's crazy is they call this gender war content, and a lot of FBA people, I'm being real with you, Trav, they've been trying to cancel me. They've been trying to, but they can't cancel me because the real people still rock with me. Most of those FBA people who used to rock with my platform, you know why they don't rock with my platform? Because they say I'm making gender war content. All because I chose to call out feminism, and they made a conscious decision to be silent about it. Let me tell you guys something. Not calling out feminism does more harm than actually talking about it. And I'm going to say it again to you idiots. Being silent about feminism does more harm than talking about it. So if you want to cancel me, somebody that's talking about feminism, listen, it's mighty funny that people within our community, these are the same people that voted for Kamala Harris who got the nerve to say that I'm off code because I'm making gender war content because I choose to call out feminism. No, let me tell you what's off code. Let me tell you what's off code. If you voted for Kamala Harris, I don't want to hear nothing from you when it comes to who's off code versus off code. If you voted for Kamala Harris, you need to shut the hell up and be quiet and take 10 seats. And matter of fact, not 10 seats. You need to take 100 seats if you voted for Kamala Harris. I don't want to hear none of you idiots talking about who's on code if you voted for Kamala Harris. All she was going to do was keep the borders wide open. She promoted abortion. She was going to keep the borders wide open, and she promoted gender confusion to our children. So if you voted for Kamala Harris, shut your damn mouth and don't say another damn word.
Exactly. Hey, look, Red, this is the thing. What they don't understand is you're not attacking anyone. You're attacking an ideology, ideology that's harmful.
Bingo.
Now check this out. If a politician or some random person that may just so happen to go viral is promoting that ideology, then yeah, we go after them because that ideology is harmful. We feel the effects of that in our lives today. This is real. You know what I'm saying? So Red is attacking the ideology of feminism. He's not attacking anyone in particular. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like, you can try to cancel them, but you won't. If we got to take this thing to Patreon, whatever we got to do, you're not, ain't nobody shutting this platform down, Red.
And look, Trav, and I like how you said that. I'm attacking the ideology. Name one. You can't name one FBA black female content creator that I went after. I'm not attacking nobody in particular that's an FBA woman. I'm attacking the ideology of feminism. And you couldn't have said it no better, Trav. You took the hammer and put the nail in the coffin with that. King Supreme is attacking the ideology of feminism, not nobody in particular. You can't name one foundational black American woman that I've been making videos about trying to shut her down. But I can show you several black men who are FBA who've been cooning and being a Sambo. I went after several black men for being off code. I haven't went after one FBA woman. I'm going after the ideology of feminism. And Trav, you couldn't have said it no better, my brother. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Trav.
This is an example. Jasmine Crockett. We never made any comments about her physical appearance. I actually found her to be attractive. We never made any comments about her as a person. Our gripe with that woman is the fact that we feel like what she's doing, we know that what she's doing is harmful to us as a people. And we see this fake bravado, this fake strength. Y'all love to push the image of strong black women, but when it's time to be strong and stand up and say, look, it's time for reparations for foundational black Americans, I don't see no neck rolling. I don't see no finger snapping. I don't see none of that. I do see that when you got a black man standing in front of you. But when you, but this is the thing. This is the reason why we know they put you in these positions as a servant, as a concubine, as an agent. Because, for example, Jasmine Crockett, she will argue and fight and yell and scream and raise hell for illegal immigration. And illegal immigration is the most harmful thing to foundational Black American men. That is a fact. So when you sisters say that we attacking, when y'all say we attacking this sister, I say to you, she's not a sister. That black, I'm gonna tell you, times are different. We are transitioning into a different period. Just because you're a black woman, that don't make you safe no more. If you're a black woman and you pushing illegal immigration, all right, we're gonna put foot to behind. If you're a black woman and you pushing LGBTQ policies and policies and lifestyle more than you push nuclear family, more than you push a union between black men and black women, yeah, we're gonna put foot to tail. We're gonna put foot to behind. We not doing what the baby boom. Listen, we not baby boomers. Millennials are getting older. Gen Z ain't, I'm gonna tell you, Gen Z, I got my complaints, but I'm gonna tell you this, Gen Z ain't playing no games with when it comes to the dating dynamics. They getting passports, they going overseas, they dating interracially. And the crazy thing is, they're coming together as black men. They're having, I love what I see from AB and Homeboy, the other streamer or whatever. It's a little bit of it's some coonery there, but I'm seeing black men come together. You know what I mean? I have this in Colombia.
Well, Trav, I'm gonna ask you this. What do you say to the people that saying, they're traveling, but they're gonna dilute the black gene by impregnating women who ain't FBA? What's your feedback on that?
I say don't stay stuck on stupid, because if you understand the facts of life, you understand that when you trace your lineage is traced through who your father is. So that black woman that steps out and has a child with a white man, she's no longer a part of the community. I'm gonna tell you why. Because those children, when it's time for them to trace their bloodline and their lineage, they take on that white man's last name.
Yeah, they do.
And genetically, this is a scientific fact. Don't argue with me, argue with science. For all the dummies out there. We got a lot of dummies in our community. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay. We're gonna regulate that. You take on your father's last name. Scientifically, this is science. When you trace your lineage, who was your father? Who was his father? And who was his father? So we ain't tripping about light-skinned babies. Y'all know y'all love light-skinned babies. We ain't tripping about none of that. None of that. Get over it. At the end of the day, we can build a new nation as men. The thing is, we have to keep that camaraderie and that bond as black men. So when I see a brother, I don't care who he dating. As far as I'm concerned, if I see him with a white woman, okay, salute. I call that you guys call it interracial dating. I call it conquering, right? As long as that brother can identify with me as a brother and we respect each other, those women will fall under our rule. I'm living this right now in Colombia. You know what I'm saying? I'm living it right now. The women are going to fall under the leadership of the men. The men need to keep a bond among each other. When we talk about regulating black women, the black women who are anti-black male, the way that we regulate them is we punish them socially. Shout out to Dennis Sperling, right? I don't agree with everything you say, Dennis. I'm saying we bump heads, but salute to you, brother. That's some of LA's finest. Shout out to Dennis Sperling. He said this: you punish the woman socially. So because I see all this cooning and buffooning, you get no protection from me. If I see you having an argument with some white dude or some Mexican dude at a gas station, unless I know for a fact that you are pro-black man, unless I know that you are pro-foundational black American man, you on your own. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's called self-preservation. You reserve listen, a man has to preserve his energy. Black man, preserve your energy for the woman who respects you. That woman that respects you, and she doesn't have to be attractive. If you got an old lady, I don't care if you got an old, ugly, obese woman. If she's a foundational Black American woman, and and you can tell that she's the type that's actually an advocate for Black men, you know, you look out for her, you make sure she's okay. But we not gonna protect Bon Quisha. You know what I'm saying? We not doing that. We not about to protect KK Keisha. Those days are over. You know what I mean? We not protecting KK Keisha. You know what I mean? What you do with KK Keisha is you leave her subjected to the environment. I'm gonna repeat that. You leave them to be subjected to the environment. As a man, when you walk away, that's the most powerful thing you can do. When you walk away and you bring forth some indifference, trust me, the women will notice that, and they will begin to adjust their behavior because they need you as a veil of protection. If they don't want to adjust their behavior, then you leave them out there. You leave them out there and you allow the world to beat up on them. That may sound harsh, but you leave them alone and let the world beat up on them. And when you see the world beating up on them, you throw your hands up in the air and you say, I ain't got nothing to do with it. Because you don't listen, let me tell you something. You don't advocate for those who don't advocate for you. And you simps, I'm going to tell you something. A lot of pressure is about to be applied. Things are changing. Simps are extremely dangerous because simps are enablers. Simps enable feminism. Simps enable white supremacy. Because when you go to correct your woman, when it's time to provide some correction, the simp is going to jump up with his sword and his shield and his cape. He got his cape blowing in the wind. Got a big S on his chest for simp. And he's going to try to stop you from improving and bettering your woman. It's nothing wrong with that. We listen, as men, we've had women, we were children once. We've had women give us guidance. We've had women give us advisement. But when you grow into a man, then it's time for us to regulate the world and regulate society. You know what I mean? So if a woman can't take a critique from you, they don't really care for you. And a lot of y'all brothers are not ready for this, but this is how you figure out who the Black women in your life are. If you can't provide them some constructive criticism, you need to cut them off completely.
Hey, Trav, I want you cooking, bro. I said this. If she can't accept correction, she don't deserve your protection. And guess what? Simps are the enablers of feminism. A lot of our FBA brothers are enabling feminism because they won't say nothing. They won't hold a woman accountable. So to a lot of our brothers with these FBA platforms, you talk about tethers and white supremacy every day. Tethers ain't a tether ain't the reason that the Black woman is the least married. Tethers ain't the reason that Black women abort their babies at the highest rate. Tethers ain't the reason that Black women file for divorce at the highest rate. Simps are enablers of feminism. And a lot of these brothers with platforms in our community refuse to call out feminism, but they talk about African tethers all day. That is weak as hell, bro.
You know what it is, Red? It's the old Southern Baptist Black preacher blueprint, right? Those guys that won't cross that line. See, people love your content, Red. Don't get it messed up. You love it on these streets, man. But those guys that won't cross that line to critique foundational Black American women, they have a Southern Baptist Black preacher mentality. Like this preacher that just went viral recently complaining about Black women ain't got no money for his church.
Hey, Trav, I said the content creators are the new pastors. Unfortunately, a lot of our FBA brothers are the new pastors. They tell Black women what they need to hear. I mean, they tell Black women what they want to hear and never tell them what they need to hear, and they never call out feminism. You brothers in the FBA community who wake up to talk about Africans, tethers, and white supremacy, that's cool. But if you never take the time to call out feminism, you are the enablers of feminism. You guys are no different than the Black pastors at church on Sunday. Y'all Negroes ain't no different. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to pass it to Traps. The content creators are the new pastors. You guys are simping for Black women because you want to get their support. You don't mind seeing Black women crash out and be feminists as long as they support your platform. Go ahead, Trav.
Nick, listen, those guys that, like I said, they're very comfortable going in on black men, right? And they call themselves caring about the black community. If you care about the black community, when it's time to clean house, it's time to clean house. It takes a man to clean house, because a man don't care about a woman complaining, crying, whining. A man is going to look at it like this, like, look, we need to improve, and we're going to do whatever it takes to improve, because that improvement is what's best for our self-interest as a people. So I'm gonna tell you this, Red. When they say hit the super chat, that's the collection plate. That's the Southern Baptist Church. That's the Southern Baptist black pastor down in Mississippi, sleeping with half the congregation, taking money from the people. The church ain't had no new construction in years. They are the equivalent of those Southern black pastors that use our people and manipulate our people for financial gain. When they say hit the super chat, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, that's all that they care about, because they know if they actually go in on feminism and they talk about how detrimental feminism is to the foundational black American community, a lot of black women are going to unsubscribe.
Yeah.
They won't get those likes. They're not going to get that collection plate. That collection plate is not going to be full. This is where you separate the men from the mice. This is where you separate the real from the fake. The brothers who are willing to deal with that backlash that we know is inevitable when you critique foundational black American women, those are the brothers that actually really truly love and care for foundational black American women. And they truly care about the foundational black American community. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But our people are so backwards, Trav, that this idiot said you went from talking about gangs of feminism, because gangs and feminism, both of those things hurts our community. See, I'm not one of these guys that's going to talk about tethers and white supremacy and not call out feminism, right? So if you want to hear if you want to listen to a panda bear, there's plenty of panda bears out there. They talk about white supremacy and tethers all day, but never call out feminism. And those guys are beta male simps. You guys are enablers. All you black men who refuse to call out feminism, you are enablers of feminism. You guys are the reason that the black woman feel like she can do what she wants. Listen, we're never going to get all black men on code when it comes to calling out feminism. But as long as we can get the majority, then we can make something happen. We can prevent a lot of this nonsense from happening. And we ain't got to worry about damage control. We'll operate from prevention. We'll think about prevention instead of damage control. Now, let me say this.
One quick thing.
Like when you guys listen to these people, if you got an FBA man that talks about tethers and white supremacy, but he never addresses the black woman's behavior, he's pandering to you. And he's an enabler of feminism himself. How you gonna not talk about feminism when feminism is one of the main things that has affected the black community? It's destroyed relations. It destroyed relationships between the black man and the black woman. So if you have a platform, a voice, and a microphone, and you never hold a black woman, you never hold female behavior accountable, and you never talk about feminism, you a simp, homeboy. I don't give a damn how much. I'm gonna pass it to you, Trav. I don't give a damn how much you talk about white supremacy and tethers. If you never call out feminism, you're simping and you're pandering, and I can't respect that at all. Go ahead, Trav.
I'm gonna make your point, right? For example, remember how we talked about Jasmine Crockett, right? Okay, let's do a formula, Red. Jasmine Crockett minus feminism. That feminism is the thing that makes a lot of women gravitate towards the Democratic Party. They are the promoters of feminism, right? So the women know that they're not going to gain any real benefits for the black community. But remember, feminism is about ego. They get to stand at podiums. She gets to be on CNN. She gets to feel important. She gets personal benefits while simultaneously demobilizing her tribe, her race, her nation. So check this out. If you remove feminism from Jasmine Crockett, instead of her campaigning and fighting for immigrants, you would see her on camera fighting for reparations. You would see her on camera fighting for grants and benefits and different things for Black institutions. Like you would see some kind of institutional benefit. Red, do you remember that the Black woman that I think she actually has to go to court for this, right? She got to go to court because she put her hands on an ICE officer. She actually assaulted an ICE officer. She's a product of feminism because number one, she had the gall and she was bold enough to put her hands on a man. That shows you that she has a feminist ideology. What are you doing? What are you doing attacking not only a man, but a man and a law enforcement officer, a militarized man? You know what I mean? That works for a law enforcement agency. Now she's about to lose years of her life. Time is your most precious asset. You can't get time back. She sacrificed years of her life for some illegal immigrants that don't give a damn about her Black ass. She would listen within Latin America. She would rank very low within Latin America. If you know the culture, you know the culture.
And they didn't vote for her. The Mexicans in Texas did not vote. She did all that caping for the illegals, and the Mexicans in Texas did not vote for her Black ass.
And now and listen. So check this out. Red, she invested, right? She invested into the Democratic Party. She invested into liberalism. She invested into feminism, thinking she could beat up a man. And what is the result? What was the return on that investment? Jail, economic sabotage. Because when you lose your job, you lose your money. That's called economic sabotage. She's losing her money, her job. She has to go to jail. And that's another L for the Black woman's image, because everybody all over the news, it made international news, saw that Black woman acting a goddamn fool behind something that ain't got nothing to do with her. For some people that don't care nothing about her. If she didn't invest in feminism, if she invested in the foundation, if she invested where she should invest in her own community, the foundational Black American community, we would actually probably have gained some steam and we would have gained more ground in the reparations movement. The same way she went viral for attacking an ICE agent, she could have went viral for speaking up about reparations. And I promise you, she would have went viral because that's not a part of the script. Those women are given a script. They're white liberal mom. Listen, they're white liberal moms and dads give them a script, and they got to toe that line. Girl, you better go out there, twerk, and promote immigration, and listen, and promote homosexuality. You better promote. You better not be promoting families. Go promote homosexuality and go promote
abortion,
illegal immigration.
And abortion.
Right.
Exactly. And tell a Black woman that she has the right to abort her babies because it's her body, her choice. That's what Democrats have promoted to Black women for the last 5 to 6 decades, because they want our population to decrease. So when they promoted this to Black, it's your body, your choice. Girl, go on up there and abort them babies, because they didn't want the Black population to elevate to levels where they can't control. Yeah. So if we tell Black woman she can be sexually liberated and highly educated, it's her body, her choice. She can abort a baby whenever she feels like it. That's what Democrats and feminism has promoted to the Black woman. And you got and I'm gonna bring you up next, Scoop. You got all these beta males in the FBA community with large platforms, and they never hold a Black woman for being a feminist. They are enablers of feminism. That's why I can't respect these simps who talk about tethers and white supremacy, but they never call out feminism. And feminism and Democrats have promoted abortion to Black women. They have told Black women, you don't need a man, you can abort your babies. It's your body, it's your choice, and you cannot be judged for it. Go ahead, Scoop.
Hey, salute, Red. That's what I was just getting ready to say. So when people ask what feminism has done, this is what feminism has done. Feminism told women you don't need no man.
Scoop, before you go, feminism promoted the jab, because the jab, we're finding out now that the jab actually has side effects that cause cancer. I'm gonna be careful what I say on this platform, but the jab actually has side effects that are cultivating cancer. And who promoted the jab? Who pushed it? Who promoted it? But go ahead, Scoop. We can't leave that out. They promoted that.
For sure.
And they made you call it what do you call it? Reproductive rights. They put you on stage and had you looking stupid. They made you promote killing children and had you on national television calling it reproductive rights. You got to do better. Go ahead, Scoop.
Yeah, see, they don't get it, Red Trap. They don't get what feminism has done because they still want to throw the rock and hide their hands and say, well, feminism hasn't done nothing. It empowered women. No, it told women break up that family. That's what it told them. But then they complain about YNs. Where do the YNs come from? Who raised them? Do you think we had families that was YNs running around, you think the prison rate was as high as it was? You think these Negroes is running around here with switches? That is a problem of a single mother raised environment. But feminism didn't do nothing, right? Feminism told you you don't need no man. But how's that working out when you raising them kids and they don't want to do what they told? How many households got men in them with kids that tell the man, I'm going to go where I want and do what I want. I'll come in when I want. I'll go where I want and hang out. Because most fathers, no, that's not happening. Who them? Where you think you going? You better sit your behind down somewhere. Where's your homework done? No, there's no way that a child is going to get to a certain age and still listen without having some solid authority. And most of the time, where does that come from? That comes from that black man. That's what feminism has done. It has completely destroyed the families and told women, you don't need a man. There's no reason for you to have a man. You can do anything that man can do. That man is obsolete. His authority don't mean nothing. You don't have to listen to him. You can do as you please. That's what feminism has done. And these goofies have not still figured out how that has hurt the black community. It has hurt us all the way over into jobs that we can't get. That same feminism is what ended up causing all these illegal immigrants coming in here, because feminism told them that these are working class people who work hard. They're just coming here for a better life. Those are our friends. Those are our brothers. But do they know that when they come over here? Because they don't come to assimilate. They come to dominate. But to the point, you have told them that as a woman, they can make their own choices. So that's why you got 2-year-old Keisha running around here in a dress that don't cover nothing. And then you got the older daughter who's 10, who's around here half naked. And you as a feminist think that's okay because no one should be able to say nothing. Not realizing that in the 50s and 60s, where did our strength lie? In families. That has always been the signature in the black community. The strength was in our families. You let someone come along, hand you a check, and told you families don't matter no more. Why is it they only pulled that on us? Because the Mexicans still having kids left and right. They popping them out every chance they get. But they ain't over there telling them, you guys need to be feminists. Stop messing with your man. Do as you please. Promote gender war and go head on and do your thing, because that Mexican man that go out here and bring home the paycheck, oh, he don't matter. You don't need him because you can go do it yourself. But we fell for the banana in the tailpipe. So it's not that hard to figure out what feminism has done unless you under a rock and blind or just don't care. So that's how I look at it. But we know as men the order everything is supposed to be. We have to start with what's called a no tolerance policy as men. No tolerance. We're not going to tolerate feminism. We're not going to tolerate you. We're not going to, as Trav say, KK, Keisha, we're not tolerating that. You got to go somewhere.
Let me tell you something that I know.
Hold on, Trav. I got to bring up Passport King because he been waiting to. Passport King, man. Go ahead. There you go, my brother.
Peace. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. You got it, brother.
Thank you, King Stream. Thank you, gentlemen, for having me up. Yo, I'm gonna cut right to the chase, especially since now it's shifted to the whole thing of feminism and the black community. I want to make a controversial statement now, but it has to be stated. Black men, we gotta stop with this hoping that we just got to sit them down at the table. We got to have a conversation. You got to make this much 6 figures. You got to be in shape better than a Marvel superhero. All that is nonsense. Let me tell you why. The same Keishas that want every black man to be over 6 feet tall, making high six figures, six pack. You and then after you come home from work, you supposed to be cooking and cleaning. She'll get with a bottom shelf Brad and work 2 or 3 jobs, pay all the bills, and she's smiling just because he's white. And we seen that. You know I'm not lying. Look at that chick. What was her name? Um, the one they call Rose, the queen of whatever, with the T-move looking big show. It turns out she was the one paying all the bills because she was using the social media, hustling all the goofy Keishas, fantasizing about being with a white man, and he was just a busted brat. But guess what?
Yeah.
Some people say, well, that's
Hey,
majority. When they get with a Brad, they get with a bottom shelf Brad. They're paying all the bills, working 2 or 3 jobs, and they're happy. But us as black men, if you get with one of them, you could put in a 12, 14-hour day, and as soon as you walk through the door, you haven't even took your hat off or took your jacket off. For those of us that don't wear shoes in the house, you haven't took your shoes off, and she's at the door, her mouth going a mile a minute, stressing you out over something you either did, didn't do, or something she's mad at. You can't get no peace. But
hey, let
guess
me ask
what?
you a question,
When
man. Let me ask
Julio
you a question.
comes home and Julio works in landscaping, what happened?
I want to
Yes,
ask you a
sir.
question because you made a good point. I'm gonna ask you the same question I was gonna ask Scoop. I like
Go
what you
ahead.
said.
Yeah.
Check this out, right? Now you notice the black girl that was dating Travis Kelsey. All right, and I'm gonna tell you, there was a time when black women knew better than to do this, but I believe this is a result of liberal culture and feminism. Feminism makes them very comfortable to come out of their mouth and say things that at one point in time they knew better. You know what I mean? Because those things have consequences. She made a comment saying she was on a podcast and the guy asked her how can we as black men show up better for black women. I don't even think the guy was black himself. He looked Hispanic to me. And she said, this is the black girl that used to date Travis Kelsey, right? And she said that black men need to protect black women, and she went viral. The white boy palming her booty, uh, making disparaging comments about black men, and the white boy had his way with her. He had fun with her. This goes back to the plantation, y'all. He had fun with her, and now he's married to what's the big superstar? I can't believe I can't remember her name. Taylor Swift. Yeah, he's with Taylor Swift now.
What's
Taylor
it?
Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, he's with Taylor Swift now.
Yeah,
So,
and check it.
I,
And it
hold
came
on, hold
out
on,
that he didn't even
hold on,
spend
hold
a
on.
cent on her.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he only spent. He bragged that he only spent like $15 on her. But check this out. I want you to elaborate on that. But also, I want you to elaborate on the politician in California. She's a black woman. I forgot her name. The elderly lady. She's kind of. I don't want to call her legendary, but she's well known. She's been around for a while. She's a black woman out of California. She interviewed Meg The Stallion and actually paid homage and respect to Meg The Stallion and said that Meg The Stallion is a good example for women. And this is a Democrat thing. This is the promotion of feminism. You got a
Well, this is
politician
this is but
promoting
fam,
Meg The Stallion. I
that's
want you to
nothing
elaborate on that.
new. That's how they've been.
Yeah,
That is nothing new. They
but
see,
it's
here's the
worse.
thing.
It's gotten
They
progressively
like to
worse, my dude.
point. Check this. They like to
Yeah, man.
point in contemporary times and try to blame us black men for their image. Keisha's destroyed their own image. They put their own image in the garbage. Remember when Little Kim first came out? Look, I'm not gonna take away from Little Kim's rapping abilities, but black men was saying, "Hey, that's not a good look." Keisha's got up tearing black men down. Oh, y'all need to shut up. Y'all want to control women. Okay, so we backed up. And then even after Little Kim, the female rappers that come later on after, they got more and more degenerate. So black men
Yeah.
have always tried to say publicly, yo, this ain't a good look. This is not good for your image. Oh, y'all just want to control us. Y'all beat us. Then they start talking about all this color purple fantasy. I'm glad. Let me mention that. And shout out to Kevin Sam, may he rest in peace. Do you know that no black woman ever talked about domestic violence until that Color Purple garbage got made into a movie? It was only after the Color Purple got made into a movie and got on like VHS and started getting played on TV that all of a sudden every black woman in America suddenly had a grandmother or great grandmother that was getting smacked around. You ain't hear none of that
Oprah,
until
man.
Color
Oprah.
Purple. They
Oprah.
felt
Oprah. Oprah.
and check it. And yo, but check this. But hold on, check this. And keep in mind, The Color Purple is a work of fiction. It's not a true story. Everything in that trash novel is made up. But these women, they watched that garbage and they thought that was real history. That black men was just smacking women around, and you started hearing them say, "Oh yeah, y'all treated us worse than the KKK." And all type of craziness from a fictitious novel that was made into a movie. It created a fake history to demonize black men, and they
They're
look and think that's
expendable,
real
man. They are
history.
expendable. Yes, you understand.
Now,
It's
if I
time for
just told a lie,
Well,
anyone,
this is
if
what
I
we're
just
gonna do,
told a
it's
lie,
brothers.
time
call me
Hold
out
on,
on
this is what
it.
we're gonna do, brothers, because I gotta land. So this is what I'm gonna do. I need everybody to be brief. Make it 60 seconds a piece. I'm gonna let Scoop speak his piece, and then I'm you guys make it brief, and we gonna land because I've been on for a minute. I gotta make a move. But Scoop, where you at?
Yeah, Red. Yeah. Uh, hey, that Passport King, you really touched on something. That is true. That is true because I ain't never heard none of my grandmas complaining about being touched on, smacked around, pushed down, mistreated. My grandmas that I had have told me they loved the life that they had. So yeah, that's a fallacy. That's something they continue to come up with. Another reason that feminism hurts the black community and more specifically the black man. There is no upside to feminism. It isn't. Like I said, they call it empowerment. What it is, it's a changing of the guard. It's what they want for because really to tell you, let's keep it a buck. If women could take over and dominate us, they would.
They would.
If they had that opportunity, because that's really what they want. They want to run the show. They want to be president. They want to run Congress. They want to run the House of Representatives. They want to be mayors. They want to run city councils. They want all the jobs. They want everything to put the man, especially the black man, as they look at it, in his place. They want us on our knees to them. And fortunately for us, we know that's never going to happen. No matter what they try, it's not going to happen. Men are the builders. We are the leaders. And as soon as women get that through their heads, their thick skulls, then everything will start to fall back in line as it should. But until then, you're going to have brothers that say, hey, man, I'm out of here. I'm going to another country, man. Give me a woman that's going to act right. I ain't going to sit here and deal with this. Oh, I'm finna talk to another race of women. I ain't finna deal with this. You know what I'm saying? Because everything with us is off code. We are a people who are reactive, not proactive. We don't worry about situations until it's too late. Our women are off code. That's why I said earlier, we need a no tolerance policy. Brothers, you got to start letting these women know that we have morals and there's certain things we're not going for. Let them talk, let them run their mouth, let them get mad, let them not like it. Just, hey, we ain't going for it. Keep on going over there with that. I don't care what they look like, how pretty they are, how fine they are, how sexy they are, how big the booty is. It don't matter. We gotta practice some self-control where we say no is no, and we not rocking with you like that until you get y'all together. We on ours. You need to get on yours, and you need to start realizing how this works. Men are the leaders. The woman was made to be the helpmeet, and they don't like that when you tell them that, so they're still off code. And until they get back on code, there ain't nothing you can tell them, ain't nothing you can say to them, ain't no having no meetings, ain't trying to explain nothing to them because they are hard-headed. They have it stuck in their head that it's a fight for supremacy and it's against the black man. That's why they go with Brad, because it's not against Brad. It's not against no other race, but it is against the black man. That's why we as black men have to say it's a certain type of women we gonna deal with, and the rest gonna have to fall by the wayside. And I'm gonna land it there.
Shout out to school. This is what I'm gonna do. Passport King, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you guys make it brief. Go ahead, Passport King. Then I'm gonna let Trav land, and I'm gonna close it down. Go ahead, brother.
Thank you, good sir. Also, my apologies from earlier. I think I might have had something playing in the background. So if you heard some background noise, my apologies for that.
Yeah.
I'll say this real quick. Scoop hit it right on the head, and he's right. Look, black man, there's multiple people on YouTube been saying this for years now. And I know some of y'all want to believe in black love. Look, you gotta let that fantasy go, man. Love does not mean you get disrespect, because we are being told, let's say they did a sister did meet a black man that was the so-called epitome of everyday height, making money, etc., etc. She would still feel unsatisfied because, unfortunately, the majority of black women, they've been over generations, from almost a century now, they've been led to believe that they are superior to black men. This is why they make such ridiculous commands. But I'm going to tie it also into what Scoop said earlier about dating, marrying out. There's a reason my name is Passport King. It's not just something chosen at random. I have traveled to different countries around the world. The black women that's in the USA complain about us. There are many countries in the world that you go to right now today, any one of us, and those women are praying for a chance to be with a black American man. And I am not joking. Y'all don't know if you don't travel. You don't have to settle for disrespect. You don't have to be emasculated and made to feel like you're not enough, where there are dozens of countries where women are praying and wish they had a chance to be with us. And that's why I'm going to land there and let you know that no, we're not lacking. We just have to open up our mind and realize, hey, we're worthy of better. We don't have to settle for disrespect. And I'm going to land my plane right there.
Shout out to Passport King. You right about that, right? And I'm gonna say this before I pass it to Trav. When you make FBA content every day, you gotta be with a black woman, or else they're gonna cancel you. Like, and this is the real. Like, as black men, we've always been attracted to black women more than any other race of women. But if they've been indoctrinated with feminism, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can say. Ain't no sit downs. Ain't no meet up. These women are a lost cause. It's over with. You might as well throw the towel in. There's nothing you can do to save them. A lot of these women are damaged beyond repair. And the quicker you realize that, the better off you will be. Now, you got this person saying this and this. If the women don't fall in line, you are wasting your time. And when you make FBA content, to a lot of you brothers, they'll say, well, I'm married. Listen, I know a lot of guys who are married that can't even go out and hang with their homeboys. So being married don't mean that you're an expert in relationships. I know a lot of married brothers who can't even go hang out past 10 p.m. without their wife saying this or saying that. So I don't want to hear you brothers say, well, I ain't married. Yeah, bro. And you got to submit to your woman. In most cases, a lot of you guys do, because you're too afraid of her walking away. So you compromise with that woman to keep her around. So being married don't mean that you some expert in relationships. A lot of you men can't go on vacation. You can't go out past 10 p.m. without your woman calling and harassing. I would never want that life. And then let's go to this. When you make FBA content, if you're not with a black woman, they're going to want to cancel you. Now, let's say you meet a Latino woman, and I'm not promoting interracial relationships. I'm just telling it for what it is. Now, let's say you met a non-black woman, or even if she was a black woman and she was what you guys would call a tether. If that woman worshiped the ground you walk on and respected you, they would cancel you because you ain't got an FBA woman. So they would rather for you to be with an FBA woman with 3 kids by 3 different men that's overweight and fat, opposed to you being with a woman who worships the ground you walk on. That's crazy. So in a lot of cases, when you make this FBA content, you place yourself in a box to the point to where you can only be with an FBA woman. And we all know most of our FBA women are feminists. They've been indoctrinated with it. And if you don't believe me, check this out. Prior to feminism, black women had the highest marriage rates. Prior to feminism, black women didn't abort their babies. You had a strong family unit. Now, when you look at the 70s, and if you look at the 70s, moving on to the 80s and 90s, when black women got indoctrinated with feminism, they became the least married woman. They started aborting their babies at the highest rate, and they filed for divorce at the highest rate. So we see the damage that feminism has done. If you don't believe me, just look at the stats. Look at the results black women got before feminism. Then look at the results that black women got after they embraced it. That's all the facts that you need, baby. If you don't believe me, check the stats. Go ahead, Trav.
Yeah, man. I want to say this. Salute to the panel. Salute to the chat. Great show, great content. And I just want to end it on this note. All right. So like I said, when it's time to clean house, you have to clean everything. We can't address tethers and illegal immigrants and LGBTQ policies and all these other things and intentionally ignore what's going on with our women just for the sake of trying to appease them, just for the sake of trying to get laid, just for the sake of trying to keep the peace. You know, anywhere, listen, where you see correction is needed, you need to provide that correction. So I'm gonna say this. We talked about this situation with the Mexicans versus the blacks in the southern prisons. When you stop a problem, you have to stop a problem from the root of the problem, right? These anchor babies come from these policies. These policies are supported overwhelmingly by foundational Black American women, right? That's problematic. It's problematic. It's not good. It's a problem. So we need to make adjustments. Black men, for a long time, Black men got on board with what Black women wanted to do politically. I'm telling you, as Black men, to vote for your own best interests. Don't get caught up in the hype. Don't fall victim to the shaming. Don't fall victim to the strong liberal agenda, the influence, and make decisions that benefit foundational Black American men. That's not selfish, because if you want foundational Black Americans as a people to progress and get ahead, no nation will rise without their men rising. You know, a lot of y'all love to use that quote about the woman. That's true. But it's even more so about the men. If you want to rise as a nation, right, it's critically important that our men get put in positions of leadership. So this is how we're gonna regulate, right? The women who don't want to follow your lead, like Scoop said, I don't care how attractive they are. I don't care how bad you want to hit that. I don't care how much you love her. If they won't follow your lead, every Black man, cut the tie. You got to cut them loose. Cut them loose. Because if she's not on your program, whose program is she on? She's on someone's program. And a lot of y'all don't want to accept that she's on White Daddy's program. You know what I mean? When they go to that booth and they promote those policies, we just spoke about it. We just laid it out for you. When they go to that booth and they support those policies are anti-Black male. Let's just be straight up about it. Those policies are anti-Black male, right? And if the policies are anti-Black male, who does that benefit? And let's be honest, who does that benefit? There's a long, well-documented history of who our opposition is. A lot, and brothers have to accept this. A lot of our women are working collaboratively with these white supremacists. Therefore, they are not your woman. Like the brother said, this is the beautiful thing about it. I'm living it. I'm in Colombia right now. Black men are the most sexually desired men on earth. American Black men in particular. You can go to Germany, you can go to Colombia, you can go to Venezuela. I promise you, whatever you want, it's out there for you as a foundational Black American man. We need to make sure that we have a bond and we have a fraternity as men and we respect each other as men. If you're a Black man and you have anything to say about who another Black man is dating or who they marry, you need to go over there with the rainbow folks, man. You need to go over there. You know what I mean? That's another thing in our culture that needs to be stopped. You don't have anything to say about decisions that another man makes unless it's something that's detrimental to to you and your family personally, or us as a group. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna end it off on this note. The nation is not just the land. It's not just the land. The nation is the people. Black men need to have a strong bond among each other. A strong bond among each other. We have Mexicans in the prison system trying to attack us. We got Mexicans in California at every level trying to demobilize us. We have people that look like us from Caribbean nations, African nations plotting against us. We have to stick together as foundational Black American men, right? And we need to be focused on trying to rise to positions of power. Stop dealing with women from a place of compassion. There's nothing wrong with having compassion. You should have compassion, but stop dealing with them from a place of compassion and deal with them from a place of leverage. Leverage and power. Women respect power. It's time for the foundational Black American man to rise to power. And I'm gonna land my plane on that note.
All
Rise
right.
to power.
Shout out to Trav. And let me shout out to Trav for dropping that heat. This person right here said he's not addressing feminism. He's addressing Jasmine Crockett. It's a difference. No, Jasmine Crockett is a product of feminism. So if you don't understand that Jasmine Crockett is a product of feminism, where's your antennas? Where's your thinking cap? That's all I'm saying. Anybody who understands feminism would know that she's a product of feminism. 100%. Without feminism, you don't have a Jasmine Crockett. So you guys should understand that. Let me see where we're going right here. So anyway, man, we're gonna shut the show down. Yeah, man, but Latinos are invading the South. They are. They're the fastest growing population in the South. They are invading the South 100%. And talking about tethers every day when tethers are the smallest population in this country, you want to address feminism, you want to address the fact that Latinos are invading the damn South. It's crazy to sit up here and talk about Africans when they're the least of your problems. Africans and Haitians ain't going to war with Black people in city streets across the country, but Latinos are, and they're the fastest growing population. So why would I waste my time talking about tethers every single day when they're the smallest population in this country and they're getting deported right now as we speak? Make it make sense. Make it make sense, people.
Yo, bro, but goddamn, bro, I'm like, shit. It is what it is. These chain gang politics, a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that shit started because Shawty had done chose up. She had done chose. You feel me? Yeah, she was fucking with the nigga. That
Man. And let me say this. The Black woman pick and chooses who she gives her body to. So if the Black woman is a single mom, then she's a single mom by choice. Now you might say, well, even she can eat. Well, you might say this. Even if she get married, she can become a single mom. That's true, right? It's the same way if you ride in a car with a seatbelt. You can still get injured with a seatbelt on, but you're still better off wearing a seatbelt compared to not wearing a seatbelt. So when a Black woman chooses to have babies without no marriage, she don't have no safety. She put herself in harm's way. Black women pick and choose who they give their bodies to. So if the Black woman got different baby daddies and she ain't married, she has no one to blame but herself, right? If the Black woman required marriage before she gave up her body, she would be in a better position than that she's in today. But unfortunately, they don't want to do that. He said, Red, I saw this simp comment disrespecting you for saying, shout out to Royalty. Jasmine Crockett is the product of feminism. Feminism created Black women like Jasmine Crockett. And whoever don't understand that, they're just too damn slow for the conversation. Period. But what I'm saying is this: Black women don't require marriage before they have babies. And once they become single mothers and they're struggling with these babies, then they want to complain about the struggles that comes with single motherhood. But hold on, you didn't require marriage before you had sex. You didn't require marriage before you had those babies. That is a self-inflicted wound, 100%. You have no one to blame but yourself for being a promiscuous woman. If you're a single mother and you got a child and you're struggling because of your promiscuous nature. And guess what? The man that she got pregnant by ain't the only man that she didn't gave her body to. So promiscuity And the black woman being reckless with her body is what led to single motherhood, which is why a lot of them struggle with these children today, unfortunately. Don't get mad at me for telling the truth. Why don't you fix the damn problem? Instead of getting mad at me for telling the damn truth, why don't you fix the root of the damn problem? Don't get mad at me for speaking on it. Why don't you call out the people that engage in those behaviors? Why don't you do that instead of getting mad at me for just pointing out the damn obvious? Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Said Jasmine is a feminist. Yeah, man. Jasmine Crockett is the product. She's a product of feminism, of the feminist movement. Serious business. You can still become a single mother if you get married. Yes, but you're better off getting married compared to not being married. You can still get injured in a vehicle with a seatbelt on, but you're still better off wearing a seatbelt compared to not wearing one. So to all you black women that get pregnant because you met some dude at the club, you met some dude at the dating site, and you guys don't have a real relationship, you don't have a foundation, you was attracted to him, you gave up your body and you got pregnant, you have no one to blame but yourself. You didn't require marriage before you gave up your body. You didn't require marriage before you had children. You have no one to blame but yourself for being a promiscuous, and you have no one to blame for being promiscuous. Blame yourself for being promiscuous. Blame yourself for being reckless with your body. Until the black woman takes accountability for her promiscuity and being reckless with her body, nothing in the community will ever change. Women are the gatekeepers to sex. I'm going to say it again like the preacher, man. Women are the gatekeepers to sex. Without a woman's consent, she can't get pregnant. All right, well, what about the women that got taken advantage of sexually? The overwhelming majority of women who get, the overwhelming majority of women that have children is through consensual sex, not because somebody took advantage of them. The overwhelming majority of women that get pregnant, I say 90-something% of women who get pregnant, they get pregnant through consensual sex, not because somebody's taking advantage of them. Only 10%, maybe even less than 10% of women got pregnant because a man forced himself on her. That's a small minority, but the overwhelming majority of women that give birth, they give birth through consensual sex. So you have no one to blame but yourself if you become a struggling single mom. It's your fault that you was reckless with your body. It's your fault that you engage in promiscuity. You have no one to blame but yourself. It is a self-inflicted wound at this point. Now, I'm going to get up out of here, man. Salute to the family. It's your boy, King Supreme. Now, you notice they're not going to like this. I don't expect beta male simps, and I don't expect for female feminists to like the truth. Matter of fact, they're running away from the truth. That's what they're doing. If you come up here to talk about tethers and white supremacy as a foundational black American and you never address feminism, you're no different than the pastors at church on Sunday preaching to black women to get their money. You're no different. I said it before and I said it before and I say it again. The content creators are the new pastors. They pander to black women, but they never tell them the truth about how she became a single mom in the first place. They won't be honest with them because they're too damn afraid to lose their female supporters, which is why they never tell black women the truth, which is why they never hold them accountable for their behavior. Hey, man, King Supreme, man, I'm going to get up out of here. Peace, love, and blessings. Salute to one of the realest channels on the internet. Listen, homies, don't let these numbers fool you. I got one of the realest channels on the internet because I cover feminism, white supremacy, illegal immigration, tethers, gang violence with black men. King Supreme has some of the realest conversations on my channel. I don't talk about white supremacy while ignoring feminism like the rest of these brothers be doing on their platforms. Listen, these brothers are no different than the pastors at church on Sunday. They're no different. They pander to black women to get their money. And they never hold them accountable because they're too afraid to lose the black woman support, which is why they never hold them accountable for their behavior. I'm going to get up out of here, man. It's King Supreme. I'm gone, y'all. Peace. Make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel. And oh, yeah, make sure that you share this. Tell a friend that's going to tell a friend and spread the message because it's powerful, brothers. Peace to everybody. I'm gone.